sugar, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Stretch words like spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Stretch words like yeah.
Okay, I'm listening. Go on. Yes, I'm typing it all down.
Clear, spilling tea, no fear, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. I don't lives right here. Spilling tea, no fear. I'm still here. La da 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 da. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Make sure you subscribe to Lakeysha Keysha, my dear. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives. Stretch words like
Hey guys, happy Father's Day to you. It is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers. You are definitely needed. And hey to everybody in the chat, y'all. It is hot as heck down here. Every time I go out, I be like, okay, I see why I stay in. It is so hot outside. So I don't know where y'all at, but it is like super, super hot down here. Now you all were like, go get those 3 ladies. So I finally got 2 of them. The one who intrigues and Sierra 207. They will be joining us shortly here. And we're just going to discuss Obviously, they saw that video at Frisco ISD. So they're going to join us relatively shortly. And we're going to kind of just go into it. As you guys know, they have released the video, and everybody is saying that the video is edited. And also, I want to show you guys something else. Now, if you guys are not following me over on TikTok, make sure you do at Lakeysha Keysha, the same handle I am now on TikTok. I was always on TikTok. I just couldn't figure out how to find time to go over there and do content, but I'm doing a little different thing over there. But I am over there on TikTok. Make sure you guys, subscribe to me over there on TikTok. Okay, so we have our first guest here. She has arrived. All right. So just give me a second, guys. Here. Welcome. Is that Sierra? Hi,
This is
Sierra.
Sierra. Hi, how are you?
I am great, great, great. So we're just waiting for one who intrigues. Sierra, have you had the opportunity to see that video that they released, the video that they're saying is the actual video?
Yes.
You saw that? Okay. Yeah. So I was going to let the audience see it. What a lot of people are saying in the video is it's highly edited. And now that I look at it, you can actually see the canopy, guys. The canopy is in the air. There's nothing on the side. So there's so many things wrong with this picture, which when we kind of talked on the phone, Sierra, I was saying, I know people are saying that, Karmelo, he actually, wait a minute. Karmelo actually admitted this. I think I have yet to actually hear him say he actually did this. So I know there is a video where he says, I'm not alleged. And now, that I'm seeing how they have pretty much threw this video together and want us to believe this is the video. I really don't know what happened. I don't know
Either.
what happened.
Well, as far as what they put out, no, you would not know.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with you there.
So I'm sending a link back to one who intrigued. Wait a minute. Just 1 second, guys. So I guess what I was saying is what really makes me wonder if what he said was meant to mean he actually used a poker on this boy. I don't know, because if in fact he did this, why don't they just show us the video of it happening? Why is there so much editing to this video? Because now I'm like, well, maybe when he said it's not alleged, that is not what he meant, because I just don't understand why we can't see the video. Like, why we can't see the video?
Well, I like to know if he said I'm alleged. I've heard one video stating that, but was that really him? You know,
Right.
with all the manipulation that they've been doing, it's questionable.
Hello, one who intrigued. When he said it's not alleged, that is not what he meant, because I just don't understand why we can't see it. Like, what is why we can't? I think if someone has their other.
I like to know if he said I'm alleged.
Does someone have like a 2 devices on? Because it's echoing really bad.
What's that really?
Right.
There's all these manipulations. Can you hear us? It's questionable.
Hello, one who intrigued.
Hey.
We
Can
hear
you?
your TV in the background.
I'm gonna text her. Let me
Can you
text.
hear me?
Now we can.
I
It's
don't hear
silent
you.
now.
Okay, we can hear you now. One who intrigues. Do you have
Yeah, I
like?
tried to turn my laptop down.
Okay, because we can hear a bad echo.
I hear nothing.
Okay, you can't hear us. I'm gonna text you.
Mm-mm. I can't hear you. You're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. Go out and come back in. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have one who intrigues maybe go out and come back in because we can hear her. Maybe let me see. I'm gonna like take her out and then she'll come back in. Let me. Okay. All right.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Okay,
you.
good.
Thank you, ladies, so much for joining. I am grateful to have you. As I was telling you, one who intrigues my audience was like, "Can you get the three ladies?" And I was like, "What? Who are you guys talking about?" So, I watched obviously your video when you were on No Captivity with Freezy, and they were like, "Well, you need to get them to come over." So, I'm glad that you ladies are not. Are not afraid to, to say what you saw, because I know there are some people that saw the video and they just didn't want to say anything. And I'm like, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing that I had information and somebody is sitting in jail for 35 years. So
Yeah, that would be pretty sad.
right. So thank you, ladies, for coming on. And for my audience, I did put their handles on TikTok in the comments. So you guys will be able to follow them on TikTok. And also their screen names is their handles on TikTok. Now, are you ladies just on TikTok?
No, I'm on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. Is it the same handle, One Who Intrigues?
On Instagram, on Facebook, I don't use it too much I just use it for family and friends pretty much.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, okay. Yeah, I know I have Instagram and Facebook, but I'm now using TikTok more. So once I get this TikTok thing figured out, then I can probably go and do more of the Instagram and Facebook. But who wants to start first? Obviously, I want to start with your story. I feel like the more we talk about this, the better, which is pretty much all we can do at this moment. But I feel like it's doing something. Okay. So whoever wants to go first, I just want to know, you obviously went to see the video. Just explain to me what happened, what you saw, because I mean, as you ladies know, now there's a video that they have put out. And I'm just like, I haven't saw the original video, but I'm like, this don't seem like that this is it. And then I had someone that had come on my show who actually saw the video, and I had him come back and he's like, no, this is not this is not what I saw. So, whoever would like to start first
Sierra,
can
you want to go first?
see it. Let me see, Sierra.
I always allow you to go first,
Okay.
Okay.
madam.
Okay, so it already has a freeze frame of what we're going to see. They ask you if you want to watch, I think it's 11 minutes or 2 minutes before. I can't remember. Anyway, I chose to watch 11. I was there with two other people. One of them was an Austin supporter. So we're watching the video. We see a group of six that's walking into the stadium.
Mhm.
One veers off and goes up the on the right side of the stadium of the bleachers. Then one goes straight across, and then you have the four boys. Oh, let me jump back a little bit. when the freeze frame is there, you can see Karmelo sitting at the top of the bleachers in the back of the canopy. He has on a gray sweatshirt. He really stands out because all the other colors are pretty dark. There's
Mhm.
other colors there that you can see, like there's a little girl with the yellow rain jacket on, poncho on. So anyway, you see the four boys come in. They go into the canopy. They go directly and stand in front of Karmelo. And for a few minutes, they're just a few minutes, few seconds, they're just standing there. So I'm assuming they're having the verbal exchange. And then all of a sudden, you see movement, you see arms, you see ducking, you know, and then it goes pretty quick. And then all of a sudden, you see Karmelo, he pulls out a little bit, he comes back in.
Right.
When he goes out again, I don't know if he rolls back, falls back, or whatever, but he goes back. He stands up. He takes a few steps up, a couple of bleachers, and then he looks around, and then he starts running to my right
Right.
down the bleachers diagonally. He falls at the bottom. He quickly gets up and he continues to run. Now on the screen that we're looking on, he runs out of the frame. And
Right.
then you see three boys coming behind him. Now at the same time you see the three boys, you see one of the boys stop. Austin is coming down the stairs and Austin collapses.
Right. Okay.
When the boy that stops turns around, he sees Austin and then he stops chasing Karmelo and he goes towards where Austin is. He never makes it to Austin. Um, and then you see other people that come by and they're assisting Austin, after he collapsed. It takes a while for the ambulance to arrive. When the ambulance arrives, it comes in through the track field. It goes all the way up to where Austin is across, but there's a fence there. So they get the gurney out. They go around to the opening. They come up. They go to where he's at. I'm assuming they're working on him for a while.
Right.
They come back with him on the gurney. They go back to the ambulance. They stay there for a few minutes. Then they pull back. They back up to the entrance. They stop again. And then after that time, then they finally leave. Um, I did see the police officer when he picked the bag up, Carmelo's book bag, and tossed it to the other officer. You can see a lot of things that's going on. Like you can see people that's on the track walking around. It look like some of them are like stretching or whatever. And then you can see umbrellas. The video is very clear.
Right.
Okay. It's not pixelated, it's not fuzzy or anything like that. The only thing you cannot see is that you can't see the students' faces because they have it redacted some.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so um and when I saw it, I thought they all had on jumpsuits, but I now realize that Austin and his brother had on shorts. But that's because when we were looking at it, it was dark. Their legs were dark.
Right.
So it was no way for me to distinguish they had on shorts or long pants. But it's pretty clear film.
Obviously, because you even mentioned like colors of what they were wearing, if I'm correct.
Yeah, yeah, you could see colors. Like there were people out there with umbrellas, you know. Some of the colors popped out, but I think if they had on darker colors or as far away as it was, it looks like the redaction made it look like they had on black jumpsuits
Right.
because I couldn't tell what if they had on shorts or not.
Right. 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 So, but so you told us like, what you saw when you went to see the video. Based on everything that you saw, what would you say had happened just by, because obviously you couldn't hear anything.
Oh, they were jumping on him. There's no doubt in my mind that because when I saw the action under the canopy, all three of us that was watching it immediately said he got jumped. It was that. I mean, it was very noticeable. You can see the movement and the action.
Right.
It's no doubt he was being jumped.
Right. So interesting you said that, because I found this one online, because before I found this, I couldn't figure out how to make it blow up on my computer, which I ultimately figured it out. But even with this bad edit one, you can still see that in from this video, they were hitting him hard,
Oh
because all you
yeah,
see is
yeah.
this. It was nothing but hands. So you know that they were all hitting him. So I said, even with this edited video, you can tell that they were really hitting this kid, because they couldn't even, I mean, it's still there. Like, you can still tell.
Right, right. You can definitely tell it was no missing that. It was very obvious that they were fighting back there.
Right, right. Which is, I just I don't understand, why won't they release the footage? If they're saying he's guilty, he did all of these things, when they don't release it, I don't believe anything. You know what I mean? I start to think about the stuff that they said that he said, and I'm like, well, did he really say it? Like, did I hear him say it? So now it makes me, it questions, did he actually have the poker? Because I don't understand what the issue is. Like, why is it that they're withholding the information? I mean, even when people say these people don't even know each other, that it looks like he got jumped, then it seems to be a problem. So I don't understand. I know you live in Texas. Have you heard anything?
I'm where he was at in Frisco. I'm about an hour plus away from there. I'm not right in that area. Um, but I would also say I have a lot of suspicion about the knife myself.
Mhm.
Whether it was his, I know it was in his hand. That much
Okay.
I can tell you. But whether it was his or just a weapon of opportunity, I don't know.
Now, I don't know if you can see what I've put on my screen, but they have started to release, parts of, the evidence and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing that made me wonder, like, what is really going on? Generally, when it's a case and someone has used a weapon, they almost all the time bring that weapon into court. But what we saw with
Mm-hmm.
this case is they didn't bring it. And I was like, yeah, it's something shady here. And people were saying, yeah, that allegedly, this weapon had their initials on it. But again, we don't know, because we've never
Right.
saw. Well, this initial actually has an M on it. Now, do we know if this is their initial? We don't, but it still makes you wonder, whose
Hmm.
fingerprints was on this item? Why was it not provided at trial? So I feel like there's more to this story. I feel like that he did. I honestly don't believe that he actually brought this item. I've heard people say that this was an item that they were using to put up the tents. And then I thought about it. After seeing that video, if somebody was laying hands on me like that and I see something, yes, I'm picking it up, because I'm
Absolutely.
protect myself. So I feel like them saying he just brought this to school, I don't feel like that is accurate based on what I'm seeing now. And I can literally see nothing but hands. Like, I see nothing but hands. So it's something more to, this story.
I'm gonna have to look at that photo because I was not in court the day that they showed the weapon, the replica. But I was told that the prosecutor did not want to put on gloves to show the real weapon that was used, the tool that was used, which I found very suspect. I
Yeah,
mean, even court cases I watched on TV, they always show whatever is involved,
right,
not a replica.
right.
So that was really strange to me too.
Right. And that's kind of what made me start. Well, that wasn't the only thing that made me wonder. It was, obviously a compilation of a few things, but to not show the weapon, but to go out and get a replica, like put on the gloves and show the weapon. Just, I thought that was kind of odd that they didn't show the weapon.
Now
But
that you mention that, yeah, if you already knew that you did not want to present the the weapon when you went and got a replica.
Right.
You
Right.
already knew that you did not want to show it.
Right.
So there must be a reason behind it that you did not want to show that in court. That's a
Yeah.
good observation. I hadn't even thought about that, but you're absolutely right.
Right. Because it makes no sense. So whether I want to put on gloves or not, I don't want to go out and get something similar to what I already have when I just need to put on gloves and show it. That would be the easiest fix. But to go out
Hmm.
and buy or look for something that is similar is crazy to me when all you have to do is put on gloves. Yeah, that didn't make sense. And there were just a lot of things that I heard that happened in this court, and I just didn't. Well, I understand now, but to understand that the judge was okay with it was a little bit of suspicious to me. Like, okay, is the judge not gonna say anything? So,
No, he didn't take too many objections from the defense, that's for sure.
and
Even
you,
the day that I was in there, he overruled everything that he said, and let it continue.
because you were there 2 days, right? Did you say two
I was
days?
there 2 days, but I got into the courtroom one. That was on Friday
Okay, okay.
because there were, I would say, at least 100 people from the public trying to get in, and they only let 27 of us in. The first 27.
And I had issues with that because you figure a case that everybody wants to know about, and it seems like the judge did not even care for 20 something people to be let in is sending a message right there that he doesn't want people to be in the courthouse with this particular case. And I know he stated that, the witnesses were minors, but there have been cases before where they allow the cameras, they just don't put the camera on the face of the witnesses. So there was a lot of things that he could have did that he just didn't do. And now that we're kind of seeing how this case has played out, I'm like, oh, okay, he was really biased from the beginning. Not those are just
Hmm. Definitely.
Miss Sierra,
Yes,
your
ma'am.
turn. You want to give us your turn?
Yes, I put in a request, just as one who did a FOIA request, and I requested from 7 a.m. to see the video from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Well, I didn't get that. Okay. Um, I was offered the option of 11 minutes before the interaction or 2 minutes before the interaction. The actual video that I watched was anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes long. As one who stated, the colors are vivid. There's no mistaking. I mean, you could see colors, you could see the birds flying, you could see.
Hmm.
I saw a black and purple umbrella that I really want. I want. I
Wow.
still want that umbrella. But yeah, the colors were very vivid. You could see clearly uh, what was going on. Nothing pixelated, nothing snowy or grainy. Um, from what we saw,
Right.
Carmelo is sitting under the canopy by himself on the back side of this canopy and on the very last seat where the canopy covered. He's sitting there looking downward at his phone. People are filtering in and out, passing, sitting, going in, sitting down, or whatever. But then there is a group of 6 individuals walking like they were on a mission.
Hmm.
That's that was the difference there. They was walking aggressively. Two of them veered off, so I didn't pay attention to those two. Four of them, however, went directly up to Carmelo. passing adults on their way up to Karmelo. Okay. They stood directly in front of Karmelo, surrounding him, not offering a pathway out either end. Um, there were seats available in front of Karmelo where they could have sat down, but they never sat down.
Right.
Um, I saw a hand gesture as if someone was throwing something out or directing someone out. It was a hand gesture. I can't verify what the hand gesture actually was.
Was it
The
during
next thing,
conversation? When you say you saw a hand gesture, are you saying like when they were surrounding
that was,
him?
yes.
Okay.
Um, you see the commotion that started almost immediately when the boys or individuals got Carmelo surrounded or stood in front of Carmelo. It was almost immediate. Um, the next thing I see is Carmelo crawling out of the backside of the canopy on his backside, like a army crawl or crab crawl out, and he got to his feet. He ran up 2 to 3 bleacher steps. He looked both ways and did like a football, I'm going to fake you out move. You don't know which way I'm going.
Right.
Um, he proceeded down his left, our right, if we're looking at our phone. He ran down, like a little lightning bolt. He got to the base of the bleachers onto the sidewalk where he slips and falls. He recovers quickly and moves on. But at the time that he slips and falls, there you notice 3 individuals in pursuit of him, chasing him.
Okay.
One of them, however, stopped in his tracks, whipped his head around and looked up. So I whipped my head around and I looked up. That's when we see Austin walking down the bleacher steps holding his chest. He walks down to the sidewalk of the bleachers that's in front of the bleachers where he steps, make 1 or 2 steps in front of the bleachers where he collapsed and falls. That was the hardest part for me to see. Um, I never see Hunter, however, go over to Austin. I can't verify that for anybody because I never saw him go over to him at all. The ambulance took approximately 10 minutes to arrive, and as one who stated, they came onto the field area, and they did have to take the gurney out and walk it back up and back around from where they entered in at to Austin, which took a lot of time, which I was like, well, hey, just bag the vehicle up and, you know. But anyways, they walked it back around and back up to Austin. Um, the ambulance parked right in front of where Austin was, so we could not see any of the life-saving measures that was being performed on Austin. Um, so all of that was blocked by the ambulance. They eventually, after working on him for about 20 minutes or so, they loaded Austin onto the gurney and took him back to up and around to load him into the ambulance, whereas the ambulance had backed up to the opening to allow him to be loaded. Um, the ambulance did hesitate there for a minute or two before taking off, and then They get up the street or road there for, not very far at the field house or medical building. And they stop there briefly, 1 to 2 minutes before going on to the hospital. And that's what I saw.
So I had saw, I think it was in your previous interview, or I don't remember actually where I saw it to be honest, but what made you decide that you wanted to see this video?
Well, one, I wanted to see the video because I wanted to know what the truth actually was. What actually happened there. But the other reason was to see what we can do as adults, family members, mom, sister, brother, uncle, cousin, to stop this type of behavior from happening in the future.
Right.
And, the bullying aspect was a big part for me as well. Um, so that was my reason.
When you say the bullying aspect, like what made you think that, possibly it was a bully type situation? Because I mean, I've heard that as well, but early on, what made you say what you stated in terms of the, stopping the bullying? What made you think that?
Well, the boys were being territorial, if you ask me, intimidating.
Mm.
I mean, they came up as a group. According to Texas education code, bullying doesn't is not defined as you have to, you know, harass or bully someone more than once for it to be bullying. Bullying can actually and is actually one or more times.
Right.
So yes. I also have a personal experience with a family member that had been bullied, um, and and attempted to take their own life
Oh,
because of the bullying.
okay.
And so that is very near and dear to me that we try and stop bullying.
Right.
It's instead of it getting better, it's getting worse. We have parents or people, adults, well, they should have just went out there and just fist fought. You're still advocating or supporting fighting.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, make it make sense. So there you go.
And based on, what you saw, because obviously, I mean, you go online, you see people that say he wasn't jumped, it wasn't a fight. Based on what you saw, obviously there was no volume, you couldn't hear anything, but based on what you saw, what would you say happened?
Well, if you they they absolutely jumped him. He was looking downward at his phone when they appeared in front of him. So it was a surprise. One,
Okay.
he looks up, oh, there's all these big burly looking boys around me. What am I gonna do? You know? Um, so it was an attack on him. Um, he I I I couldn't imagine what was going through his mind when he looks up and he couldn't walk out as he walked in, you know.
Right.
If he was going to get out another way, he would have had to jump over them, which wasn't an option, you
Right.
know. So his only way out was crawling out the backside of that canopy, getting away.
Right.
Um, so there you go.
And you could obviously, because you guys have stated that the video was clear. So based on the video that you saw, you could tell that he was looking in his phone, and at some point he looked up and they were there.
Mm-hmm.
They were there.
Yeah.
Did
Yes.
you see them walk up? The video you saw, did you act? Well, I think you said that. You said that you saw them
Yes.
walk. Right?
Yeah. You
Walk
see
up
him
to
walk up to him. I mean, Carmelo never stood up. He was sitting all the
he
time.
never exactly.
Right. And that's another reason why I'm wondering, okay, because the way that they're saying this wound was, they said you could not have been sitting down. So you see what I'm saying? I'm just like something, I don't know what it is, but this story does not add up.
Well,
Well,
the medical examiner, she did say that that's the only way that wound could have happened because Carmelo is like 5'7", 5'8", and the twins, one is 6 feet and one is 6'4". I mean 6'2".
Oh, wow.
Sitting down, he can't. I mean, you would have to like reach up. You know what I'm saying? And where he was punctured at is down here. So he had to be leaning over him like this for that. And then with the amount of pressure, no, Freedom, stop. With the amount of pressure and force that needed for the way it penetrated, he had to have fell. He had to have fell on that
Right.
tool. Because in order to do that much pressure, you would have to even, I don't even know if you could do it if you took your hand all the way back and came in.
Right. And I've heard that. I've heard people say that he fell on it. And that's what I'm saying. I just feel like with all of the changing up this video, I feel like they are trying to hide something, because if he did what they say, show us the video and let everybody see it so we can go about our business and not feel like you all have railroaded this kid, because that's just what I feel like. I feel like something else happened. I don't
I
feel like
definitely
they said.
I definitely feel like they railroaded him. I feel like because his attorney is the one that mentioned that Austin impaled himself. So I think it would not have mattered what they showed in court. I think the jury already had their mind made up.
Yeah, I kind of believe that as well. Does someone have like another or something on? Because it's kind of echoing really bad. Like if you I think if you have like
Yeah, I
another.
don't have any volume on it. I'm just looking at the screen.
Okay. 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 I'm just
are you
reading what
still hearing
I don't hear it anymore.
echoing?
Okay, I heard
Okay.
it again. Yeah, it's really bad. The echoing
Talking
is,
little boy.
you may
But
have
let
to.
me see if I have to close it. I don't know if it has a little, because I got it on the phone. I can barely see it.
Do
Is it
you have
still
like a
there?
do you have a TV and a phone?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, it went away now, so we don't
Okay,
have
it must have just been the fact that the laptop was open.
probably. Okay, great. What was going to be? Let's see what they're saying here in the chat here, ladies. Um, Jermaine Lambert. I wonder where Carmelo's interrogation video from the police station is from that day. I'm guessing he gave an explanation behind his actions at the track meet. We won't know until, I mean, they release that information. I feel like if there was a confession, I believe they would have released that already. I really do. So
Well, I don't think it really matters because since he was claiming self-defense, he has to admit that he did the
right,
act. So
right,
that's really a non-issue.
right. I
Right.
agree. Someone says Mama Sierra or Miss Sierra. Please. Oh boy, she's an elder. Oh boy, some of these. Okay, let's keep.
What did it say?
If
It
they
says,
said Mama Sierra, that's somebody that know you.
oh, okay.
Oh, hi.
That's what they're saying. Address her as Mama Sierra, but everybody don't want to be addressed as, you know what I mean? So you just can't
No, if
be.
they called her Mama Sierra, they know her.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
They know me. Yeah.
Okay. It says, so remember we had talked about the knife. Some people are saying M could also be for Memorial High School. I mean, it could be. It definitely could.
Well, I don't know because Memorial High School is not giving them tools.
Right. That's a good one. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. How can you find someone guilty? It's echoing again.
Yeah, I don't have. I'm downstairs in the kitchen, so it's not me.
Okay. How can you find someone guilty without the so-called weapon? Exactly, Tamara Allen. You said was what took Austin out and bring a fake one. An example. Exactly. Who does that? How is that possible? And that is why people don't believe this. I mean, why don't you bring the actual weapon? So that's why I'm like, what, I believe it could be a situation where maybe he got it from somebody else, maybe they had it, and I don't know, but it just doesn't make sense that they wouldn't bring the weapon. It doesn't make sense, not to me. What really threw me off, they never heard of having court on a Saturday and
Yes, that was
sentencing.
very unusual.
Very unusual.
It
Very.
seems like they were rushing it.
Mhm. Very much. Yeah, I've never heard of that, but I also never heard of the judge being very reluctant to show to show what's going on in the actual courtroom. So I agree. And it was a rush. People were saying maybe that's even grounds for appeal because think about what he was telling the jury. If you don't make a decision today, you're going to a hotel room. I'm like,
Exact. And he was very stern about it. He was like, "You won't have your phone. You won't be able to talk." He made it seem like almost like they would be in prison. You know what
right,
I'm saying? And for someone that wants to get home to their family, I can see them trying to rush a decision so they
right.
can get home.
Right, because they make the decision came right before they would have been in the hotel because it would have been, wasn't it made on a Friday? Was it a Friday?
No, let's see. I didn't go that Saturday. I think it was made on a Tuesday, maybe
Okay,
Monday
Yeah.
or Tuesday.
Monday. I believe it was Monday.
Monday. Okay, I come
No, it
to
was Tuesday. No, 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 no. It was
this.
Tuesday.
Okay,
It was made on a Monday, would have been implemented on Tuesday because Tuesday was my birthday and the verdict came down on my birthday, so it was Monday. You're correct.
Is
okay.
the volume still? Oh, you're listening to someone. Okay.
I come to the conclusion. Am was hit by his goon. Was hit by his goon. I mean, watching that fight, they were going in. I don't know. I mean, it could be a situation that, somebody else could have, poked them with the poker, but at the end of the day, if they're not telling us all the information and you're giving us bits and pieces, but you say, yeah, he did it. I'm wondering, okay, he did it. Obviously, one who intrigues, like you said, he did claim self-defense, but are we hearing the full story? I just don't believe that story that he came to the event with this in his bag and he was looking to this. I don't believe that. I don't
No,
believe.
that's such a stereotype of black boys. Like the thug. And that's what really made me look into it because everybody was painting him out to be the stereotype, and that kind of thing don't rest well with me.
Mhm.
You know, so this kid is really a sweet kid. You know, his family. I would say he's almost sheltered.
Mhm.
He's not the jock at the school and things like that. He's not that kid. I've seen too many pictures of him. I've seen him in court. I've seen some home movies that they have of him. this is not that kid.
Right. Yeah, you can almost tell.
But think about it. But think about it. He didn't have the time to be that type of kid.
So
Working,
I think
maintaining.
I'm not gonna even say I think I'm pretty solid on there's been a lot of lies told in court and out of court. And I think this case was tried in the public before he even had a chance.
Mhm.
Right. Because if you think about it, they had this gag order, but it almost seems as if the gag order only applied to them because we were still hearing bad information as it related to him. We wasn't really hearing his story, but we were hearing, this kid just, brought out this poker and just, unalive this kid. Although they had a gag order, there were people that now we know that was working with the family that was all on social media putting all of this stuff out. This lady
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, which I didn't know who she was because I'm not really on Twitter like that, but people would always bring up her name and they would always say she's working with them. Now, the case is over and she did an interview with the Metcalf. So
Yeah,
yeah,
she's a wannabe journalist.
right,
She's
yeah.
more like the Inquiry.
The National Inquiry. The National Inquiry. So my next question for you ladies, because I know you obviously you guys live in Texas, and I think one who intrigues, I think I asked you this already. What have you guys heard, in terms of like gossip and different things like that? What are people saying?
The area that I live in, a lot of people didn't even know about the case.
Really?
Um, I had a lot of people saying this is national because it's been on CNN and things like that, but I don't think it really hit nationally until he got convicted. That's my
Okay.
personal take on it because now everyone is talking about it, where before we were trying to reach out to people to get them interested in the case.
Okay.
Um, because several reasons we felt like he was innocent. We felt like he had been jumped. We felt like, it was self-defense. We did a lot of self-investigating on this case ourselves, looking into laws, looking, if he even had a self-defense case, you know, um, getting police reports and things like that. We really did a lot of digging on this case,
Okay.
you know.
Yes.
Okay.
And not only that, I
But in
think
my
what
area,
they
no, it's not. It wasn't
I
too much being said. I don't know about where Miss Sierra's at.
I I think what they did was it was nationally, but
We
it
can't hear
wasn't
you,
local.
Sierra.
You hear me
I
now?
think your volume is off.
I can hear her.
Oh, really? I can't hear her at all.
I can hear her. I can hear
Uh,
you, Celia.
okay. I think that it wasn't local. I think they, for some reason, did not promote this locally. They
Mm,
did elsewhere because you would hear it elsewhere, other
right.
states, other countries, but they did not do it locally. And I think that was intentional.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
people would not hear about it locally because your jury pool comes from your local county, you
That's
know?
That's
So,
interesting because you know what? We heard about it, and I'm way in Georgia. So when you're saying that, I'm like, well, I heard about it. I get you. Okay, I see what you're saying. You guys didn't have
Groceries.
anything local in terms of follow up with the case. Very interesting.
right.
Very, very,
Wasn't
very.
much on the media that was being stated about it after Hunter's interviews, you know? Um, you barely had any updates, local media, any
Okay.
follow ups or anything like that. So I think this was done intentionally.
Here's a question. I believe that the leak video is the one shown to the jury. They're using it now to try to persuade public opinion to stop people from investigating. That's a good one. Jazzy Styles. Thanks for the super chat. I'm going to reread it. She says, I believe that the leaked video is the one shown to the jury. They're using it now to try to persuade public opinion to stop people from investigating. But you know what? I think that video is making people investigate even more because we're like, wait a minute, no, this is not it. This isn't it.
Oh, okay, that is the modified video that they showed in court, because that's the one that has a little halo over Karmelo. But that's several
Spotlight.
angles put into one video.
That's
Because there's things like seeing the boys run down the stairs and chasing Karmelo. You really don't see that part because they move the camera and they follow him. And you don't see when Austin collapsed. So there's a lot of scenes that are from different angles that they spliced and put together in one film. And I don't know if you notice or not, but even when he's running, it kind of jumps. And then he runs again and it kind of jumps
right.
again.
Right. That's interesting you said that because a person, his name is Dwayne. I interviewed him. He also saw the video. He said the exact same thing you said. When I saw the video, obviously I didn't see the one that you guys saw, but I was like, this video seems like they're putting pieces or something into it because, like you said, he's running to get away from them. And then I saw him stop. And I'm like, yeah, something is not right because he's
Yeah.
running and he ran until he got to the coach, but then you saw him run and he stopped. And I'm like, I don't know about
Yeah,
this.
the video is, you can tell there's something going on with the video. Because when we saw it, I kept saying, this is not the video I saw. All of this, there's some new stuff in here.
Right,
And we didn't see him run all the way to the coach like that. At least
right,
I didn't. I know that once he ran out of my view, I turned around to see what was going on this side.
right.
They that they ended the video for us when the ambulance drove off.
Okay,
We
okay,
did not see any other angle, and that would have been different angle in or at a different time.
okay. Tamara Allen, there are pictures of Eddie and Carmelo hanging with Carmelo, family all the time. Eddie claiming they weren't friends, but they were together all the time. What do you guys have to say about Eddie? I think it's Eddie Parra's testimony. This was the kid that now he is the one that they're saying called him to the tent. I feel
Yes.
like Eddie was a setup guy.
He was.
Yes. Eddie is a snake.
Right.
That's the kind of friend nobody needs to have, you
And
know.
and honestly,
And I hope
our
every day of
children
his
need to be
life.
taught that.
Oh, I can't hear Sierra. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I did interrupt you. Um, but our children needs to be taught that people like
I can't
Eddie
hear her at
exist.
all.
Right.
People like her, like Eddie, exist in this world, and because I see a lot of kids that their friends are everything to them.
Right.
I mean everything.
Right.
So we have to teach our children, hey, watch who you calling a friend.
Right.
Teach them what a friend is.
Right. Yeah, that kid was a snake. I mean, to be that young and already a snake like that, oh my goodness. That boy was low down and dirty. Stood on the stand and acted like he didn't even know this kid. I think his
Mhm.
testimony should have been not allowed because he was a liar. Like you're making it seem like he's just somebody you saw. Y'all got pictures together. He at your house.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Well, I mean, most of the kids that testified for the prosecution, all of them lied. All of them. And they tried to, there's no way that you can say that Austin was not the aggressor when he came to Karmelo. He put his hands on Karmelo, and Karmelo never stood up. But all those kids said that Karmelo was the aggressor.
Right. And what did you think about the kids' testimony? Because again, I wasn't there, but reading it and just having my intuition, I said, these kids are coerced. Like their stories are almost the same, but how was he the aggressor when he never stood up? Like, how is it that you're the aggressor and somebody is telling you to move? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, if you look at the video, you can tell those are not little light taps that they're doing with Carmelo.
Right.
And all of them said it was a light tap. I just feel sorry for them, and I feel sorry for their parents that they allowed them to go on there and test and give a testimony like that, and it's all lies.
It's all lies. There is a I'm sorry, not a video. There is a picture. Okay. These people are blatant with the stuff that they're doing. They're not hiding it. They're putting it right up in your face. There is a picture that Austin Metcalf, I don't remember what social media, but it's been shared on social media. And he says in the heading that he is sitting and having a barbecue with the witnesses. And I'm just like, what are we doing here?
Oh, is that the one in their backyard?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, what? It's almost like, who takes a picture, put it on your social media and say, yeah, I'm barbecuing for the witness. I'm just like, they're just blatant with their stuff. They're not even hiding it. Not hiding it.
I'm just hoping that a lot of this, like when Carmelo gets his new trial, that they can bring a lot of this in, because the dad came on there so big and bold. This is not about race, but as soon as the gag order is over, all you hear is a racist rant.
Right.
And if you're saying that stuff, your boys are saying that stuff too.
Right. And you know what the people were saying? They say once you open your mouth, you remove all doubt. People know exactly who you are. Those people were saying, sir, we know why your son ain't here now. We don't feel sorry for you anymore because now we know that just how you're acting, that's how your son acted. And that's what really happened. And I'm just like, I don't know what he was thinking when he went on this racist rant, but it made me understand a lot too, that, that is exactly who, your kids are. But if you really think about it, gossip, generally, some of it is true. People have been saying that those kids are bullies. They had been saying that. They had also stated that, well, the judge made the file confidential to where we couldn't see it. But then they were also saying that the kids were bullied. So we really don't know if Carmelo's attorney wanted to bring in some of that information because the judge made everything confidential. I also believe that was part of their tactic. Like you said, one who intrigues, I believe that this was going to happen regardless. I really believe that it was, I think that this was something that was going to happen regardless in this county of Collin County. So I hope that his new trial, whoever this new attorney is, that he says or she says that he cannot have a fair trial in Collins County. He cannot have a fair trial there.
I think if they give him a retrial, it has to come out of Collin County. I think it has to. I'll have to check on that. Because it needs to be moved to a new venue.
Right. So we there's another attorney. He's on, I normally watch him on Facebook. I know he's also on TikTok. His name is Christopher King. Now he said, and then there was a few other attorneys, I just don't remember their names. They said with the appeal, it actually can be moved. But when they do the appeal, they have to say it then. And it's something to the tune of, based on these factors, he cannot receive a fair trial in Collin County. I
Okay.
did a video on a judge. Her name was Suzanne Wooten. If you guys ever have some extra time, go look her up. Do you know who she is, Sierra?
The name
Yes.
sounds familiar.
Sierra already knows who she is. Well, Suzanne Wooten was a judge. She ran for, to be a
You
judge.
know her.
And they put charges on this lady, put her in jail. She ended up, I think they gave her 10 years probation. But prior to, she said they kept showing up in her courtroom, sitting in the back, telling her she needed to go, that if she didn't go, that she was going to get these charges and her reputation would be ruined. So pretty much harassed her. So it was so Judge Roach's father was, and he was a lawyer as well. So back then he was a district attorney. He was involved in it. It was Governor Abbott. Obviously he wasn't a governor then, he was an attorney general. So some of those same individuals that's intertwined with this case today. So she
Yeah.
ultimately sued them. She ended up getting her record. So they ended up wiping it clean. When it went to the Court of Appeals, you know what the Court of Appeals said? They never had any evidence to even charge her. Like, she should have never been charged. So that just goes to how corrupt Collin County is.
What were they
Yes.
charging her for?
Oh, because so remember I said she ran to be judge. So they tried
Mm-hmm.
to say, because they wanted to invalidate her winning, right? They were doing a Trump, right? You
Mm-hmm.
cheated or you did all of these things, but they had no evidence. Had no
Mm-hmm.
evidence. So the judge, I don't recall the judge's name, but the judge that she beat, she said in her complaint, right after she beat him, she won. He went to the district attorney's office and did a Trump and said, you guys need to charge her. So they had no evidence. They were just stuck in what they normally do at Collins County and didn't want to accept a new judge because this judge had been there forever. So,
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm.
And we did one who we did investigate
Yeah, and
her.
it's part of the good old boy
Yeah.
system too, you know?
We did a
That's
little
probably why they didn't want her
investigation.
there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look her up and find out what happened. Is she still a judge now there?
she's
No,
not a
no.
judge there. So she has her own practice. She ended up suing them. So I don't know exactly how much she got, but I know when I looked up the actual documents, it said she did get 600,000, but it didn't say that that was all that she got. So I don't know. I do know she got 600,000, but I believe it's
Right.
more. But it doesn't tell me. It just says it said 600,000 went toward her suit. So it doesn't really say how much she got, but she is not a judge there. But ultimately, in her complaint, they kept telling her, if you leave. So if someone has committed a crime, they committed a crime. You don't say, if you leave, you'll be good. So they kept telling her, just leave, because they didn't like that she had won and had
Right.
unseated the judge. Because you got to understand, they do their corruption through people that they put in these different places.
Right.
So she
Right.
said one of the things that they didn't like about her was something about policies or something. So they just wanted her gone. They didn't want her there.
Yeah, you have to think about it. I mean, that's a small
Okay, now
county,
your volume is
and I'm
is
sure any
gone.
attorney
So
that works in that county and the judge, they all know each other. You know, it's a fact that usually the people that you work around, depending on your career, if you're an attorney, you know a lot of attorneys, you know judges. That's who you hang out with. So I don't know if Michael Howard just gave up because he saw they were giving him such a struggle with
Right.
the objections and things.
Right.
And he just figured it probably would just be best to appeal it.
Oh no.
You
No.
know, I don't know what he was thinking that he rested, but I'm just thinking,
So for me, at the end of the day, you were fighting for somebody's life. So I feel like as an attorney, I feel like if he was getting that much backlash, there was still things he could have did. He could have filed motions and took it to a higher court. But the fact of the matter is, you
mhm,
allowed them to do this to him. There's a video out there of Mike Howard saying, I just, go to court and I don't buck up against the system. If I'm a judge, I'm bucking up against the system, or a lawyer. You are not going to railroad my client. I don't care if you believe
exactly.
me, I don't care if you don't. If I felt like the judge was doing things that was unfavorable to my client, me and the judge is going to have it out. I'm going to file the motions and I'm going to let the Supreme Court know what this judge is doing that is unfavorable. But
Hmm.
like you say, he could have been receiving a lot of what you're saying, but I don't think that, he rightfully should have sat there, because you're talking about a person who does not deserve to be in jail for 35 years, and you sat
Right.
there and did nothing. And another thing I learned, with some of the things that they could use to appeal this case, they can't. You know why? Because he never objected. To be able to appeal certain, so I'm not saying that in Karmelo's case he can't appeal, but he had so many different issues as to why he could. But because his attorney did not object, some things, they can't,
Mm-hmm.
But I
you know,
think he has. I think he has quite a bit that he can appeal. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah, and definitely the Batson. I think that is
Yeah,
that's a
the
strong one
stronger.
right there.
Absolutely. No, he definitely have a lot of reasons that he can appeal, but and it's the stronger. Like he has the strongest ones is like what you said, the not having any black jurors. And some people were like, all of the jurors were, they had minority, black and Asian people are not black people. So it's
That's
not the
right.
same. So, I hear people saying that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you had maybe some Asians or who they it was no black people. Okay. You needed somebody that was from his community. And the fact that they let those three teachers go, and to say, oh, it's because they were educators. But then we're learning, well, if there were some educators on there, they just was white.
Mhm,
Okay. So
mhm.
let me look here. I think
Exactly. Exactly.
so. I feel like he will win an appeal, but I don't feel like he should have had to, went to prison. I feel like I actually feel like his attorney should lose his license. I think he was a horrible
Mm.
attorney. He was the worst attorney.
Yeah, he definitely has something on ineffective counsel because that was horrible. Even if he, you know what, I think even if I was an attorney, even if I felt like they had not proven intent or willingly, I still would have fought it and brought all my witnesses up anyway.
Right.
I wouldn't have just stopped. I would have went the whole 9 yards and then rested my case.
Right. And there's people are saying stuff about him. They're saying that he was probably paid off, because there was a guy by the name of Dominique, and I don't know if he was advocating for the family at this particular time, but he did say that there were witnesses that they were never called. He
That's
said there
true.
were, yeah, he said that but isn't that odd? Why would you not call his witnesses? So he said that his witnesses were not called, and then we were talking about experts, right? He said there were experts, that experts were paid for. They were not called. So now I'm starting to think, why wouldn't the attorney call these people? So when people start to say this Mike Howard probably got a check or something, I'm starting to believe it, because you didn't even finish. And then they said, people that were in the court, they said when that man rested, you can see his family's face. Like, what?
Hmm.
Because, sir, you have not proven this case.
I think there was a lot of arrogance too, because just listening to Drew,
Mhm.
saying that they were trying to do everything right, what the attorney was telling them. And I got the impression from him that if they mentioned something to Mike Howard, he would be like, well, I'm the attorney. No, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people get it very confused that the attorney works for you.
Right, right. And
The
then
attorney, if I tell you don't do that, then don't do it, you
and
know.
yeah, and in a case like this, we need to be meeting every week. Like I need to see what's going on. Again, I don't know if you guys are you if you're following Christopher King. I know he's on TikTok, but
Yeah, I know him. King Pass.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's it. There were subpoenas that was a part of this file that came back unserved to the school. Sir, what are you doing? There's no way that you should have
Mm.
subpoenas that are not served. So it simply means either they didn't serve them, they didn't take them, you went to the school and the school was closed. We all know when schools are open. How are
Yeah.
these subpoenas?
How were they not served?
That makes no sense. No sense at
Yeah,
all.
that doesn't make any sense. How are they, if there were subpoenas for the school, how
Right.
were they not served?
The only time they should have not been served is maybe on the weekend because we know when schools are open. So how did this
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like at some point, and I think the Dwayne, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dwayne, but he is someone that actually saw the video. He said that he feels like at some point, Mike Howard decided to not help this family. And I believe it because I'm like, and it seems to be very early on.
I'm so
Wow.
sorry about coming in and out.
I can
We're
hear
having a storm over here,
Okay.
and
Oh,
it
okay.
keeps dropping me.
Right.
Yeah.
You drop, I'll just add you back. Like when you drop, it doesn't do anything to the stream. It just takes you off and then it shows me that you're back and I just add you. So you don't have to
Okay.
we get it.
All right.
So we got a super chat on the topic of evidence. Was there any DNA evidence shown in the Karmelo's case?
There
I
was
feel
none presented. I'm sorry. There was none presented in court. No.
Listen to this. And this is coming from J Gray 575. I feel like one of those attackers meant to stab Karmelo and stabbed Austin. Well, I heard some gossip, okay? Because I know people that live down there. And somebody told me that what happened to Austin were that's what they was gonna do to Karmelo. They said Karmelo is lucky to be alive, and that what happened to Austin was going to happen to Karmelo. And because Karmelo is a black boy, they'd have swept that under the rug. Nothing would have happened to them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what I'm starting to think. Because if you look at the son, and there's a video too that I have to find, and everybody is saying this. They say it's a video that it was, I guess, allegedly Austin and his dad. They said right after it happened, Austin's and Hunter's dad act like he could not stand Hunter. So they said they felt like something happened that the father was upset with Hunter about. And then even if you look at this case, I understand that, your son has passed away, your brother has passed away, but it seemed like they have this misplaced hate toward this kid. Like it's just like too much. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, I
Yeah.
don't understand that. Like if you look back to the actual they had given these victim impact statements and they said the father was telling Karmelo, you don't deserve these things, and I'm just like, what does his lifestyle and whatever his parents provided for him as a kid have to do with him? And they were saying that the
Exactly.
father was attacking him, basically saying you don't deserve this or you don't deserve that. And I'm just like, that's odd.
It's
Very odd.
not odd because that's the normal racist rhetoric. They
Mhm.
don't think we deserve anything.
Right.
Yeah. They think it should be theirs,
They
Right.
think everything
not
should be
ours.
theirs. They don't think we should have any type of luxuries or anything like that. So that does not
No
surprise me at
accomplishments
all.
whatsoever.
Right.
Right. Even the
And
judge, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, finish. Even the
Even the
judge.
judge said to Carmelo, you will not be returning to your luxury home. You belong to us now. What kind of, why would you say
Wow.
something like that?
Wait a minute. The judge said what?
That's what I heard, that he said that you will not be returning to your luxury home. I think Jeff even mentioned it. I'm going to have to watch this video again. That you belong to us now.
Yeah. And see, when people say
Seeing
stuff like that,
that,
it makes you think that it's something else. Because why do you need to say that? I'm just not understanding. Yeah, that's not normal. When you watch other cases and you see judge sentence people, they really don't get personal. If you also
yeah,
look at other cases, ladies, in Texas, there were a few cases. One in particular, the kid got 30 days in jail,
freedom.
got a ankle monitor, and I think 10 years probation. Did you guys hear about that case? And
No,
this,
Mm.
what case is it?
I'll have to Google it, but this was a case where another kid, I think he unalived somebody in the bathroom. This
Oh,
happened in,
you're talking about Kason
I
Allison.
was giving the answer. That's the one.
I
I don't,
think she's referring to Kason Allison. He actually got 8-year enhancement. Um,
For his weapon.
uh, yeah. Is that the case you're referring to? Where
is it a,
the
He was at home for 2 years on an ankle monitor. And they gave him 2 years time served for the ankle monitor, which they only gave Carmelo 2 weeks. And he was on a monitor for a year.
so they only gave him credit of 2 weeks?
Yes. But they gave Case and Allison the whole 2 years.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
this entire case, listen, normally when I do, my videos or my lives, I talk about this stuff and I go about my day. When that verdict came down, I believe it was like my birthday was like the next day. I just couldn't get it together because I'm like, this is not right. Even if, I'm going to be honest, even if he would have gotten some time, my issue with this entire trial is he did not receive a fair trial. He
He
just didn't
didn't.
receive a fair trial. He
No.
didn't.
And if you would had watched the video that one who and I watched, you would know that this was really self defense. He never should have been placed in handcuffs. And the ones that should have been placed in handcuffs got away
Got
to
away.
do
And
it all over again.
I'm glad you said that because somebody told me about something and it's called Texas Multiple Assailant Doctrine.
Yes. Yes.
The Texas Multiple Assailant Doctrine is a self defense principle allowing a person to use force, including deadly force, against any member of a group if they reasonably perceive an imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury from that group. Now, this is
Mhm.
a Texas law.
Mm.
Why did this not apply here?
They
It
didn't
should have.
consider it because once their instructions was that if they found that it was M1, then they were supposed to go and look into the self-defense claim that he was making and decide if it was self-defense.
Right.
Now, whether they did that or not, I don't think I personally don't believe they did because the Multiple Assailant Act was within within their instructions.
Right.
And if they had already, his attorney had already mentioned several times that Hunter was involved. And there were two boys on the stand that admitted they were standing right there up there with them.
Right.
And as Austin moved, they moved.
Right.
You know, so I don't think they considered any of that. I think they got M1 and just dropped it.
Also, too, I've been told that the father is, I mean, I guess he know a lot of people, or I'm not sure exactly who he knows, but they said they feel like that came into play.
Oh, a
That,
lot.
that's what I've
Hmm.
been told.
A lot. I mean, he was all over TikTok talking about, oh, well, that's my DA.
Hmm.
That's my judge. That's my DA. Even to the point of advising us when the grand jury was going to come back with a verdict.
Yes, he knew that before it was even announced.
Right.
He told us when it was going to come out.
Yes.
Interesting because people told me that. They said that. So the this is why I feel like Karmelo is going to, I feel like they're going to throw this case away because there is so much corruption. Now, what I've been told is people who were a part of the corruption did not think that this was going to get to this. I've also been told, and I'm going to say allegedly, that people who were in this corrupt network, that they received payment from for doing all kind of different stuff. But now
Mm.
Mhm.
alleged individuals feel bad because they're now looking at it and was like, well, wait a minute, we didn't know that this was going to happen. So I feel like this stuff is going to all start to come out because people, from what I'm hearing from this other person that was giving me this information, is that these people, they feel sorry. And also, it's interesting that you guys said he know. This same person was telling me that they already knew what the verdict was before the public said. So when you guys say that, it's confirming what I had already been told.
Oh shit.
I
Um.
510, if roles were reversed, the Metcalfs would be meeting the president. Oh, absolutely. These people are MAGA. They are total MAGA people.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to find these super chats here. I'm trying to find these super chats that they have here. So many people in the chat.
Oh well, that's good.
Let's see here.
Yay.
I'm just trying to find some of these questions. Just give me a second here. Okay, thank you for the $10 super chat. Some of these names I cannot read. RAABYNH1. I don't even know what that says, but thank you so much for the super. Okay, I read that one. If the roles were reversed.
If the roles were reversed, honey, this when they wouldn't even had to go to court probably.
I don't believe so. It's obvious his attorney working for the other. Yeah, I mean, at key dang 2127, it's obvious. I mean, I realize people make mistakes. This guy he didn't make any mistakes. I mean, this is something that I believe he definitely was working, at some point with the prosecution. And then I also was told that, well, we saw this. This guy didn't even come out and make a statement or anything. Nothing. We heard
The
nothing from him.
attorney. You talking
Yeah,
about the attorney? Yeah,
Mike.
he has yet to speak, which
And then
I find weird.
and then I was told that he told the parents pretty much don't contact him to have Karmelo to call him.
Mm.
Yep. On the topic, this is J Gray 575. On the topic of evidence. Oh, we read that one already. Were there any was there any DNA evidence? We read that one already. Let's see here. Okay. Let me say, did I miss anybody in the chat? If I did not read your super chat, put a 1 in the chat. I think I read them all, but some of them kind of went a little bit fast here. I think I read them all. All right, Sierra. Hey, Sierra.
Hey, I'm back.
All right, I'm just looking here. Oh, I know. Okay, here's one. This is one. This is a good one. Jazzy Styles. Thank you for the $5. What it comes down to, why didn't the attorney subpoena all the phone records to have them digitally analyzed for evidence to prove self-defense? I like this one because we know those kids always have them phones in their hands. They're always recording. I don't believe that nobody recorded this.
Okay, but in court, Mike Howard did say to the jury and to a witness, did they find that it was odd? I think he used that there was no video recordings of what happened. Out of all the phones that they collected, they didn't have any recordings.
Yeah, I don't believe that because somebody else told me is that there was last summer or last year sometime that there was a link to the video, but it disappeared. So he said it was there, and he also said people thought that that it would stay there, but it didn't. So because I mean my kids are adults now, but they just became adults. They used to record everything. You know what I mean? So I find that strange that none of them recorded this.
I find it strange that Eddie was pretending to record and they couldn't find the recording. That's the
That
one I find strange.
Yes, he did say he pretended. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, no, I think he really recorded it because they normally don't pretend. They just record it. But you're right. He did say that. He pretended to record.
Mm-hmm. I find that very odd. Who pretends to record?
When it comes to an attorney, you have two: one that echoes the prosecution case and the one that fights to win your case and preserve your appeal. Well, yeah, I guess I can agree. When it comes to an attorney, you have two: one that echoes the prosecution case. So it seems like one that's on the prosecutor side, and the one that fights to win your case and preserve your appeal. Jazzy Styles, thank you so much. Trail Mix 96. Karmelo must have also gone to a prominent school if the Metcalf are that mad at his family lifestyle compared to theirs. Just straight jealousy. Yeah, it's very odd. Yeah, he's definitely for some reason pressed about their lifestyle, which is really creepy actually. It's kind of weird to say the least here. So I don't really know that much about Frisco, but I thought I heard people say that it is kind of like an uppity area. Can you tell me anything about
Um, it's a well-to-do area. It still has a very old part. You know how cities have like an old area to the city where it's not as upscale as the other parts. It still has parts like that.
Okay.
And the twins were in that part of the city, not the part where Carmelo was living, which was a much more upscale neighborhood.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Um yes. I was also told that because I believe they lived in a gated community. So I don't know how those crazies got in there, but I was told that people would ride through their neighborhood with like you know how you have one of those trucks and you can just see everything in the back, and they will have pumes in the back of it. I'm just like,
That was all from Sarah Fields because she doxed their address. You know, she has been consumed with black people.
oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Have you heard? It's a girl on TikTok. You probably saw her. Her name is Sherelle. You probably saw
Oh,
her, but
Sherelle, is that, yeah, the one that started the donation thing for Carmelo?
so I don't really follow
Sherelle
her.
Hodges.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see her from time to time, but since that is her, well, I happened to see her recently in her and Sarah, and I said that lady just won't leave black folks alone.
Anyone that has anything that are supporting Carmelo and his family in any way, she will go dig into their backgrounds and stuff. That
Right,
is straight up harassment. And
right.
then she puts it out for everyone to see. But
Yep.
now say something about her kids and she will act like you have cut her head off.
Well, it looked like they dug into her background because they were saying some really crazy stuff about what they say she
Yeah,
allergic
her, yeah. They've
to
been
her.
going back and forth for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah. So you, so did you say one who intrigues that the attorney subpoenaed their phones, or he just asked the jury that pretty basic question?
No, he mentioned it. I remember that he mentioned it in court. He said something about, um, would it surprise you that there was no video taken of the incident? The reason it doesn't surprise me, it wouldn't, I believe Eddie did, but Eddie was right there from beginning to end.
Right.
With the other kids, it doesn't surprise me if they did not because it moves so quickly, you know. So with them, it wouldn't surprise me. But he did mention that there was no video. The police collected, I think, 35 or 37 phones.
Mm-hmm.
And I also found it was suspect that they never took Eddie's phone
Hmm.
because he was on the bus showing Carmelo's Instagram page.
Was this after it happened?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that is weird.
So why was everyone else's phone taken and he was allowed to keep his? That doesn't make sense.
Another thing that I learned, so at this event, did they just have police there? Because then I hear people say the state police wasn't called, and I'm like, what do they mean? Isn't the police the state police? Did you hear anything about people saying the state police wasn't called?
They have some kind of officer there. I can't remember what they call it, what their title is, but they are police. Um I can't remember the title, but they have a couple of them on the school grounds.
Okay.
Um, so I guess that's a real big thing here in Texas. I haven't been in Texas all my life, so I don't know. Sierra could probably answer that, but they're called a CEO officer, something like that.
Okay, so that's
Okay.
probably what they're saying.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Sierra?
I was just getting ready to say, I don't know. All I know is, it would be state police are your regular police. I
Right.
mean, um, SROs, though, is
SRO.
security resource officers.
I
SRO.
I gotcha. Okay. Okay. I think I know what you mean
And
because here.
they're employed by the school,
Okay.
but
Okay.
they're actual police officers.
Gotcha. Okay. I think I know
So
what
if
you mean.
anything criminal happens at school, yeah.
Okay. So it seems like they use the school resource officer opposed to the actual police.
Yes, they do. That's what it is.
Yeah, that is weird because after a crime was committed, the state police then should take over the case. So that is a little bit fishy that because what you're saying is like, I know at schools here, they have the school resource officer, but they handle things outside of a crime. Once a crime has been committed, it now goes to the regular police because essentially now The outside police have to investigate. The security resource officer is a police, but they are there for the safety of the school. They're not really doing investigating crimes.
Well, the state police did make it there. They did come, but I think the well, I don't know. I can't be sure, but I thought it was the I you said it and I forgot it already. Something school resource officer
Mhm.
was the first one to get Carmelo, I think.
Okay.
And then passed him off to Officer Cortez, who was the state police.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Tamara Allen, what if Carmelo had fallen backwards, hit his head, and suffered a seizure because of his epilepsy? Would people be calling it an accident then? That's a great question, Tamara, because I'm not familiar with epilepsy, but I actually asked the doctor. I said, because I heard people saying, Carmelo could have died, he has epilepsy. So I asked this doctor, I said, so if you have epilepsy, and you got in a fight, could you die? And she said, absolutely. So I feel
Hmm.
like none of these things were presented on his behalf, like none of this. And I think somebody even said, that the attorney tried to mention it, and then the prosecution said you can't bring that up. So I'm just like,
Oh, I don't remember that part, but I do remember that because I listened to the opening statements and he did mention it there. I think he should have went into more detail about the medical issue, because a lot of supporters of Austin Metcalf say, well, he played football, but the thing is that you have on a protected helmet.
right,
So if you hit your head, it's not like your head hitting the pavement or concrete, because you got something that's buffering it. That's
right,
not the same thing. Um, it just what surprised me in this whole entire case, the logic that some people use in saying what he should not done, or some of the logic is so flawed. I'm like, are these people, did these people go to school?
right,
Do they have any common sense? Because I know common sense is not that common,
right,
but literally, you're not even thinking about what you're saying,
right,
and it's not making sense.
right,
Like they kept saying, he should have left.
right,
Number one, he couldn't get out, and you didn't even think, well, maybe he couldn't get out, and that's why he didn't leave. But the other thing is that he didn't have to leave.
right, right,
And then the third thing is that if they would have never approached him, Austin would still be here.
right.
So
And
let's
they
put the blame where it lies at.
Right. And to continually use this, he was sitting under a tent that he wasn't supposed to be at. And I'm just like, even in that edited video, wasn't nobody even under that tent. So they made it seem like this was a huge issue because you should have never been under that tent. And it was highly exhausting. But you see, when the shoes are on the other foot, when it's a black person, it just simply means that the same thing that a white person can get away with you can't, because they made every excuse. He should have left. He didn't have to do this. And I'm just like, it was always an excuse as to why he should have did or should have not did. But I mean, even in
Even
the
even the yeah, I agree with you. Even the wording, he was under a rival tent.
right,
When I was going to high school, we went to several different. We were not, that combative against the other
right,
school because we're playing with them. We didn't
right,
think that of them as rivals, maybe
right,
opponents.
right,
But to say under the rival tent, like if you go under there, it's going to be a fight because you shouldn't. I've never. It's crazy thinking to me. It really is. It really is. These are kids that evidently, um EP must stay within the school district of Memorial, but he still knew Karmelo.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make them rivals outside of school? You know, it
Right.
doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I think that they are thinking of any excuse they can to validate their implicit bias against that black boy.
That's exactly what it is. Because I'm like, listen, you say that there is no fight. Like, look, when I first saw it, I was like, I can't see. Because I want to be sure. You clearly see that they are. You don't see it's going really fast. So it's not like they say a push. No, that wasn't a push. That
Mm-mm.
was not a push. A push is you see you can see hands. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
going really fast. So I'm just like, you guys had to see this. There's no push. J Gray 575. Karmelo didn't have any blood splatter on his clothes or face in the body cam footage. Where's the pictures of his body injuries, his hands, blood splatter, his shoes? Where any attackers taken in for police questioning? Hey,
No,
I
no. And Carmelo, I don't know if you heard it on the video or not, but you can hear Carmelo say twice, I told him not to touch me. And he also said, I was defending myself.
Okay. Are you talking about this one?
Real tense over there, guys. All right. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He
I
put
think
his
that
hands
is
on
when he
me.
was talking.
Dispatch 443. I got the suspects, and they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right. Any weapons on you like that? Go ahead. Oh, look here.
Copy, I'll be in route.
Y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Over here. I'm gonna put your handcuffs for now, okay, buddy? Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now detained. Memorial tent over there, guys. All right. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me. Dispatch 443. I got the suspects, and they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right. Any weapons on you like that? Go ahead. Oh, look here.
Copy, I'll be in route.
Y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Over here. I'm gonna put your handcuffs for now, okay, buddy? Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now detained. Memorial tent over there, guys. All right. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me. Dispatch 443. I got the suspects, and they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right. Any weapons on you like that? Go ahead. Oh, look here.
I don't know if that was the one you were referring to, but there's a bunch of different ones. So I know it's that one, but then I know is the one where he's talking. The police I think they're on the radio, and he says it's not alleged. Now, what they say is I have the alleged suspect. He never said he never said what he did. He just says he is the suspect. So I think what people are taking, because in all honesty, I was like, okay, he admitted it. He really never admitted anything. He said it's not alleged. I am the one that you're talking about. So I don't really honestly know what happened. Again, because they have tried to trick us, I feel like when you're trying to trick me, then it's obviously something you don't want me to know. So now everything is up for speculation, unless I hear
Mm-hmm.
him say, this is what happened, because you have to understand he had a horrible lawyer. So we don't know if his lawyer said, listen, even if you didn't do it, we're just going to use self-defense. We're just going to use that. So we really don't know what happened.
Yeah. I feel like when he said, I feel like he was just saying, I'm the suspect. I'm the one that was in the altercation. I don't feel like that was any type of confession, you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
But I do understand that for him to take the self defense plea, he had to admit that he, did it. So
Right.
that part doesn't bother me. What bothers me is that I don't feel like his attorney presented the facts the way they should have been presented. But then on the other hand, I believe so deeply in my heart, it would not have made a difference
Right.
because
It
I
would not.
think that jury had their mind made up when they were selected.
Right.
There is no way that you go and you deliberate for 2 hours and you have not 2 hours, you haven't reviewed any of the evidence that was that was spoken. You haven't reviewed anything. All
Right.
you did was have lunch, sat in that back room and chit chatted and decided that he was guilty.
Yep. They were also saying
I
the jurors
agree.
were falling asleep. They said they were
Hmm.
falling asleep, and then they were not even taking notes. So I'm
Exactly. Exactly. Because the day
no,
I was in there, they didn't take no notes. I
and
was writing more than they was, and I wasn't in the jury.
that's a red flag. No notes. Champ talk
And
reactions.
some of them going to sleep,
Yes.
you know, some of them turning their backs towards the defense. I mean, it's they're letting you know right there what's happening. He's
Al-
going down.
Mm-hmm.
Either
Also,
way it goes. Hmm.
thought, because people were saying that some of the jurors were crying. Now, I get it. We are human, but I felt like if the jurors are going to be crying, they can't be on this case. Like, you can't be emotionally, you know what I mean? Because that's showing emotion. And you can't be a juror. You have to be able to look at this case. You can feel compassion, but to the point that you're crying, it kind of makes it seem like you are more compassionate toward this particular person. And they said some of those people were crying. And I said,
Yes.
Especially, I'm sorry to interrupt you, especially after the judge has made it such a big point that he doesn't want any emotion showed in the courtroom. So how do you sidestep that and your own jurors are being emotional?
right, right. Yeah, I guess as long as it's not toward the black guy. That, I mean, let's just call it what it is. Somebody said in the chat, Champ Talk Reaction said, sometimes if you're not talking, and I saw it and I muted myself, they say if you're not talking and you don't mute yourself, sometime you'll get that sound. I saw that. Thank you. And I was like, okay, maybe that was probably the issue when we were having that sound. Supreme 1555. In the video you did earlier, the tool exhibits 34 and 35 are two different tools in color. One is silver and one is dark. Oh,
Mm.
so you're saying he's referring to this item right here. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but this is a picture of their evidence. So I don't
I
know.
would have to look at that on his page because since I'm on the phone, everything is really small.
Right. I know. Yeah. Okay, advanced nurses ed consultant, definitely sheltered, and that's why he did not want to fight these thugs. Yes, listen, I have watched the interview of mom and dad. That kid comes from a loving family. I don't care what nobody
Hmm.
says. You know,
Hmm.
so and the reason why I'm going to say loving, sometimes men and sometimes women too can be detached from emotion. not his father. His father is very emotional because when I watched their interview, he is a lot, very connected to his wife and her emotions. A lot of times you don't find that in men. So
That's
Exactly.
true.
from a very sheltered, loving home, that was a good kid. That kid
Mm-hmm.
went to school with no poker. They're not telling the whole story. They're not telling the whole story.
Every day they came in court, they were holding hands. That I mean, this is not some family that don't care about their kids or each other.
Right.
This is a very strong knitted family. And you can tell that there's a lot of love in that family.
Mhm. I can tell. I can tell. I certainly can tell just from their, they did a few interviews, and then as the mother, I think her name is Kayla, as she, becomes emotional, the father, her husband he's like, wait a minute, I got to make sure she is okay. You know what I mean?
Right.
So very
Yeah.
much
Mm-hmm.
connected to her emotions, which they're both going through this. So it's just amazing that he's going through it as well, but he's not concerned about his own emotions. He's concerned about her. So I was like, oh
Right.
yeah, definitely are definitely connected. Thank you for the super chat. The secret TLC.
Well, I wanted to say this. I know that the family is being all out attacked for
Mm-hmm.
something they had absolutely no control over or anything to do with.
Right.
But they're coming after the entire family, threats on the entire family, especially the father, wanting to make sure that, oh, well, you're not going to be successful ever again in your life or be able to provide for your children.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's
that within
exactly.
itself says a lot.
Right. And you know what? That's interesting you said that because I was too wondering that, like, why why are you attacking them? They were not there. Their parents, like you, they was not there at the stadium. So unfortunately you did lose your son, but these parents they had nothing to do with it. So it goes to who he is as a person. And then you can kind of understand why your kids act like that, because
Mm-hmm.
they said that the father, I don't know if it was the father or whoever he sent, that was going up to his dad's job and ultimately got the man fired from his job.
The
And I'm
Christians,
crazy.
those Christian folks out of the church house, them, they the one went up there. Uh,
People from TikTok and Facebook that
I
don't
can't,
even
I can't,
personally
I
know
can't
the
do this.
family.
Mhm.
How do Christians involve themselves into destroying one's life?
Exactly.
But that's all, you know what? That's all about the control that they have in society.
Right. Right.
Because their whole thing is to destroy them so he would never be able to defend himself in court.
Right. Right.
And it seems like they don't want his dad, to be able to provide a family for them or a living or any financial support
Right.
ever again. I don't care how you look at that. That's intimidation, that's harassment, and it's bullying.
Right.
And it's all out evil.
It's definitely
Yes.
evil. Yeah,
It's all out evil.
it's too
I
much
mean,
energy to put towards someone else's life. It's weird. When I saw that, I said, this is I've never saw anything like this, that you are putting forth your energy to try to stop another person's from providing a life that they had already been providing, which is odd. Yeah, I saw
But
that.
what's odd to me is that you don't see that. You don't see that. You're doing the same thing, but in your mind, it's okay for you to do it
Right.
because their son unalived some kid.
Right.
that really deserved it because he shouldn't have put his hands on them.
Right. You got to keep your hands to yourself, because it would have been flipped, and Karmelo and his friends would have surrounded, there would have been no court case. They would have said, oh, he jumped him, he did this and that. But now,
Yep, you're gone.
Yeah, and and deserve might have been the wrong word to use, but I'm just saying he caused his own demise. Why are you mad at this kid?
he did. He did. And that kid ran. The difference in this case, and I get it, as a parent, you don't care how, your son got unalived, but this was not a thug. This kid wasn't out here looking for trouble. You guys did it to him. You were beating the shit out of him. Y'all wasn't pushing him. Y'all were hitting, you were hitting this kid with your fists.
Which is why his eye looked so bad on that mugshot, because it's almost closed.
Right.
And I do believe Mike Howard presented that too during his opening statements. That's why I said the jury didn't pay attention to anything that was said. Nothing.
Right.
How can you look at a photo of him where he's got a swollen eye, he's got bruises around here, and you still listening to a whole bunch of kids, 6 boys, and one girl saying that it was just a touch on the shoulder?
Right.
I wonder if they got immunity for their testimony.
I'm wondering too, because one of the boys did admit that there were, what, Sierra, when we saw the video, remembering I see the 6 boys and I see the 2 splinter off. I always thought they were not with the 4.
Right.
But now I
Not with
believe
the
they were
4.
with
Yeah.
the 4, because in court when they were doing the testimonies, I counted at least 6 of them.
Yeah. I realize that too now, but initially I just thought the other 2 wasn't a part of it,
Right.
and that's why I didn't really pay any attention initially. I was just concentrated on the 4 that was standing up in front of Karmelo,
Yeah.
And that was wow. Then to hear the last witness state that when Austin stood up, all of them stood up? Really?
Mm-hmm.
And if we look at the other canopies that was erected on those bleachers, they were full of kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, they were just sheltering out of the rain. There were, 8 different teams there. So where were
Right.
these kids going to go? The district has a fiduciary responsibility to those kids as well when it's inclement weather going on. So
Right. And now, because of that whole incident, the schools has changed their policy where the kids cannot visit up under anybody else's canopy.
that's due to Jeff.
Do you guys think that Jeff will ultimately come back and sue the school? What do you guys think about that?
I
I
any
think
way
he's
he
going to
can
sue
grift some
and
money.
everybody that he can.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think any way he can grift some money, he's going to do it.
Right, because he's all over social media talking about this family. I said, these people created a fund for legal costs. This man still has a fund up, still begging, and he's almost got $700,000 and still has donations rolling in today. And then his ex-wife has one. Now they tell me that the son had one. I just couldn't find it, but
He did.
Hunter had one. I think it was for about 400,000.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Well, the father got almost 700,000. The ex-wife got a little over 2. Both of theirs is still up, just so you know. And the father has recently, he came out and did these interviews. You can see the trail as to when he did those interviews. he's starting to get more money. So I said, listen, I get it. You did a, fund for your son, but it tells kind of who you are, that you didn't even have life insurance. So are you just grifting because you feel like you don't need to work anymore? Because saying that this family was grifting when 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐠𝐞𝐭 actually sent a letter and said that their funds were used for two things. It said that when they had to continue to move, and the rest of it went to their attorney. But it's kind of crazy that people don't research this information.
They
And
don't.
yeah, and they continue to say, oh, they bought a house. The house that was on her page was in 2023. The car that they keep saying when she says, oh, he bought me a new car, that was before this case had even started.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They, you know what, they believe what they want to believe, but I will tell you this. The day that the trial started, when they were doing the voir dire for the jury,
Mhm.
Jeff increased his amount for his fundraiser to $1 million.
Oh, that's what he made in 1 million.
Yes. Yes.
Now, what do he need money for?
Exactly.
I mean, what are they actually funding?
He keeps saying it's for his family to get past the grieving process. He's a grifter. He's a grifter. I don't believe he's working anymore, and I believe he's living off that money. And he thought $1 million would be a good little start for him.
Right, 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 right.
Yeah, but they can prevent. They can prevent a man that has been working for his family. I mean, this Kayla and Drew have been together since high school.
Mm-hmm.
They said,
Look at the longevity of their relationship versus the brief. I'm going to call it a brief relationship that the twins' mom and dad had. And look
and
at the dad. Maybe he's wanting. Maybe he's needing more money for his shoulder injury that his son, inflicted
I,
on him.
I think that everything he accused Drew of is he's talking about himself,
yeah, another.
grifting off of his own son's death. There, Sierra, they did not need $500,000 to bury their son if they didn't have insurance.
No,
At the most, maybe 20,000.
right.
But you decided to ask for 500.
Yeah,
And then the day the court starts, you need another 500
Go
for
figure.
what?
right,
And why did all three of them need accounts?
right. It's interesting you said that. What the things that they accuse the other family as, that's what they are. It reminded me of that Donald Trump syndrome. That's what Donald Trump, he stayed mad at the Obamas. I'm like, this man is obsessed with them. They are not the he hasn't been the president for how long, and he continues to talk about Obama. I'm like, this man is obsessed with Obama.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I have been trying my best to find out how much this scholarship is that they have in Austin's name, but I cannot find any information on it. And I know that one of the boys, I believe, that testified got the scholarship. And I'm
Yes, one
thinking,
of them did.
huh? Yeah.
I know
So
that
I
one
want to
of them
know how
did.
much it is because the mother seems so grateful to get it, which, I guess any amount that you could get extra to help you through college. But I know it's not a huge amount.
Those people, they say you reap what you sow. Their day is coming, because none of my children would have been able to get up there and tell a lie. It's just not going to happen, because
Mm-mm.
the roles can be reversed at any time. You have to be careful when you sign up to, do dirty and just, to come against somebody. And it's very interesting that you mentioned these scholarships, because I had heard that they thought that these people, that they were testifying strictly to get scholarships because they were awarded or told that they can get this money. And I was like, where, like, how is this even happening in real life?
Good
James
question.
575. I'm looking for news footage where Hunter said he had held Austin in his arms and
Yeah.
and had his blood all over him. Caller first says he didn't know who did it and then blames Karmelo. Did y'all hear the 911 call? I gotta go look. I think I heard it, but I wasn't really paying attention. I'm gonna go check that out.
Okay.
Is that the footage that is circulating now online?
They do have it out. I haven't listened to it yet, but I just want to address the Austin died in his arms. That never happened because that was another reason why I wanted to go see the video.
Yeah. To
Right.
see what was true, because a lot of
Right,
it wasn't adding up. And we
right.
were like, wait a minute, wow.
I have to go look at that, but it's interesting that you say that because, like, I'm thinking, like, I feel like something else happened because if he did it, you would say he did it, but to say I don't know, is very, very much
Yeah.
very questionable.
Please do find it. I'd like to hear it.
Janet Lifestyle for Janet, who threw something in the trash can? And was the
Yeah.
trash can searched? Now, I've heard people say that a few times. I think I saw that, but I have heard that. They did say somebody threw something in the trash can.
They did. But what it was, we don't know. And the individual, some people were saying, well, that was Austin. That was not Austin. I can guarantee you that. It wasn't Austin throwing anything away. He did not walk to his right. He walked to his left in front of the canopy. And the trash can was to his right. If you're looking at your phone, So
Now
it wasn't Austin.
this is a good one because I noticed that 𝐼𝐴BYNH1 in the video footage, I noticed the camera did not move until Karmelo started running and it followed him. Before that, it never moved. Is that common? My name is Robin. So I think the issue here is that there's two videos. The one that we're seeing is the one that the prosecution used. So what I've been told is that is one that they're using. So of course they're just concentrating on Karmelo, but ladies, the one that you saw, it wasn't like that, obviously.
No, no. And the one that they used is one that they pieced together.
Okay. Right, but I agree because normally when you watch video footage, it's just showing you what's wherever the camera is. It doesn't follow a specific person, but from people who were there, they said that footage was meant for the prosecution, so they tailored it to just follow him, which again is a little bit odd that that's what they're doing, but we kind of know why. Mrs. Natural Nollins, it's all about them scholarships that Karmelo Anthony was receiving. Austin was supposed to be trying to get one for them. Wait a minute, let me reread that. It's all about them scholarships that Karmelo Anthony was receiving. Austin was supposed to be trying to get one for them scholarships. Did you guys hear anything about scholarships?
Well, I heard that the father stated that the boys were getting a scholarship, but I haven't heard any evidence of that. As a matter of fact, I haven't even gotten any evidence that Austin had a 3-point anything grade score.
Well, no, they
GPA. Yeah.
4.0.
Yeah.
Right, a 4.0. I haven't heard anyone mention that since his dad mentioned it.
I saw that, but you know what I thought? I said, is he just jealous because Karmelo had like a 3.8? So he said, well, if he had a 3.8, I'm going to say, Austin had a 4 point. When I saw that, I said, is this real or is he just saying this? Because I didn't.
Yeah.
Because he claimed all these schools were,
Recruiting.
Yeah, recruiting his boys, and they sucked at football. So why would they be recruiting them?
That
Well,
is
I
what I heard.
believe
You know
I,
what, Sierra? I
yeah,
have no more empathy for them after this court case. I really don't. I used to really empathize with them, and you know, put myself in their shoes. If I would have lost a son now, I would not have gone all over on a tour trying to defend my, my son for unaliving someone, because I've all I've always made my son be responsible for whatever he did. If you do it, then you face your consequences. That's it. You
yeah.
know. Um Look, I was one of those hardcore parents. My son stole something from somebody's house one day, and we at the police station, and they was talking about it, and I said, wait a minute, I saw him with them coin.
Well,
you
we
know,
do have to hold our children accountable just to
right,
let
right.
them know that there are more dire consequences out there for you. Because
Exactly.
that listen, there's always warning before destruction, right?
Hmm.
Always warning before destruction.
But
And
after I've seen the way they have railroaded this kid, I have no more empathy for them.
Interesting you said that because that's what I've been
me
telling.
neither.
Because I see some of these YouTubers and they say, oh, well, his parents, and they're referencing to Karmelo's parents. Oh, they don't seem sorry. First of all, they didn't do anything. Second of all, how do you feel sorry for someone that done got you fired? You keep having to move. How do you feel empathy for somebody like that? I said, so
Exactly.
let me know, how do you feel empathy for someone that is intentionally causing you pain and you didn't have anything to do with it? I
Let me
mean,
roll it in for you. Let me roll it in for you. Jeff makes a video. If the Anthonys had shown more remorse, their son wouldn't have gotten so much time.
Is that what he said?
That is what he said. That is, he recorded that. Yes.
I'm gonna have to look for that and put it on my page.
I,
I'm gonna have to hunt it down.
I saw that and I thought that he was a sick individual because you will not get sympathy from a person that you are consistently targeting. He sure did say it. I saw that video.
You saw it. Great.
That is sick.
He sure did.
So if you grovel to me, then and you make me feel better about who I am, you know,
Mm-hmm.
if you make it, I'm not gonna even go there, but you know why I'm going, right?
Okay, I'm going to ask you to be a little bit nicer today.
I know, girl.
Well,
But
you got,
yes,
he showed up at their press conference and then he told this lie that he was just showing up to pray. Well, sir, you don't show up to something that you had not been invited to. And let's just say that you were there to pray. They said that man was standing in the corner. He was not interacting with anybody. And I think the spokesperson for the family said because Karmelo had been out on like GPS monitoring, they had given them instructions and told them to call this number, if they had any questions. So he said he decided to call the number and say, hey, the family of the boy that was lost his life is here. And they were like, oh, he cannot be there. So he lies. He lies a lot. So what he's telling the public is, oh, they called the police on me. I was just going there to pray. No, that's like me going to somebody's house that I got into an argument with and say, well,
yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah.
I could
But
not.
why would you want to go?
Exactly. Exactly. He went there to try to intimidate them, and he was probably hoping that Carmelo would be there
Oh,
in,
yeah.
in his 007 sunglasses.
Yeah. It was
And
all
then
about intimidation.
and right, and then he said on his racist rant, then he said, I went to pray with them. And when they told me to leave, I just leave. No, you didn't. They had to call the police on you to get you to leave. You
Yeah.
didn't just leave.
Yeah.
They had to call the police to escort you out. So stop lying.
And he said, I just left. I didn't hurt anyone. He's such an idiot. This guy is such.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't leave when they asked him. They said they had
Mm-mm.
already asked him multiple times. So he did not leave. And it was done to intimidate them. And when I saw
Mm-hmm.
that first video, I said, I understand now. This is a grown man acting like this. So if he has not grown out of these little kid behaviors, you could imagine how his kid act, how his children act. They act just
Exactly. They probably a carbon copy of him.
yeah, they said at the trial that people were saying that he was intentionally taking their seats. I was like, what is going on?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. True crime investigator. They took a couple of their seats.
Oh, it was true crime.
Mm-hmm.
Bessie ain't messy says if Austin punched, who punched him? So there was two. Exactly. I feel like, okay, think about it. Karmelo was outnumbered. So he probably didn't get much of no punches in. He was outnumbered. I feel like it could have been a situation where they was punching so much and they could have got him.
Well. Even after Carmelo escaped out of the backside of that cat, if you notice, they were still fighting.
They were.
They didn't even realize Carmelo had left. Now and then the one he jumped over fell over too, where Carmelo went up out of, chasing him. That was one that was
Mm-hmm.
chasing him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is I tell you what, I would want a lawyer like Diddy's lawyer. Well, put me in the same jail cell as Diddy.
Right.
If
Right.
I'm gonna have to, if you're gonna send me to jail, put me in my client's
Are
jail
you talking
cell.
about Brian Steele?
Yes.
Brian Steele. Okay, that was. Listen, I said, look, if I ever need a lawyer, Brian Steele. This is what some people said. They said he needed a black lawyer, and this is what I said. I don't think the color matters because you got some white lawyers like Brian Steele. That is the lawyer I need, okay? Because
Yeah.
Brian Steele did not care about the judge when it came to his client because Brian Steele was like, look, well, if you're gonna lock me up, just put me in there with my client because we still
Put
got
me in there with him.
and I said, that's my guy right there. Brian Steele. Brian Steele is nothing to play with. And it all boiled down to ex parte conversation. Okay. So Brian Steele had found out about the conversation and he's confronting the judge, like, why are you having conversations? I wasn't invited. And
Mm-hmm.
the judge says, well, who told you that? What do you mean? Who
And
so
when he said that, he already admitted he was having the conversations.
right. And Brian Steele's like, I'm not telling you. And the dumb judge says, he gonna put him in jail. Like, come on. You can't put him in jail. You didn't man. I mean, are you mad because you got found out? Because
Exactly. That's what it was.
the judge wanted to go after the person who had told him. And Brian Steele is like, that is not the question. I want to know why you are having this conversation. And they was not playing because they got him out of there. And that's what I'm talking about. When you have clients and you are an attorney, that is how you fight for your clients. So I feel like with this judge and with this attorney, if he felt like there were things that was not fair, he should have did something and he didn't.
Yes.
But you know what? I feel like Mike Howard knew that there would be a chance of bias, racial bias involved, and he should have he could have kept Shook, but he still needed a black attorney
Yeah.
on that case with him.
Right.
Because you know what? And I don't want to sound mean, but I probably will.
Mhm.
Nobody white, nobody Asian, nobody East Indian can identify with us. And they
Right.
try to ignore the fact, well, we had minorities on there. It's not the same because you guys don't
Exactly.
have to deal with it. White folks don't have to deal with these kind of racial things. They have no understanding of it. And if they do, they're probably somebody like Steele that recognize it, understand it, and ain't gonna let it go by. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? And Mike Howard needed somebody that was strong and black to exert what he wasn't able to say.
Right.
Because a
But
brother would have put it out there. You know what I'm saying? A
right.
good brother would have put it out there.
But you know what Brian Steele though he does. So it's him, and I think he has a it was a lady and then it was a male. Those were black. So he was working with them, but I feel like he knows something about the culture, but I feel like there definitely needed to be a black lawyer because they don't certain people don't understand our culture like that. I'll give you an example. They said Carmelo said what did he say? If you touch me, or you better not
Oh,
touch me.
touch me and see what
Yeah,
happens.
touch me and see what happened. Punch me and see what happened.
That's
Come on now.
that's not
Really?
provocation. That simply means if you touch me, it's going down. It don't mean nothing else. But we as
Mm-hmm.
black people, we know what that means. That's not
Oh,
provoking
they knew
That
they know what it
they know
means
what it
too.
means. They know what
They
it means.
watch our movies, they listen to our music, they all up in our business. No one can tell me that they do not comprehend that part, you know? I
right,
mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not giving them the excuses that they want. They understand.
right.
Hell, they probably understand better than we do.
You're
And
right.
I'm gonna tell you another thing. In court, there was only two people that mentioned "touch me and see what happens." I don't believe Carmelo ever said it.
I don't.
And that punch me and see what happens that was in the police report never got mentioned in court.
Right,
Not one time.
right.
Now his attorney said that he told Austin, um, as long as you don't touch me, we're cool. Now I believe he said that.
Yeah.
I don't see why he would tell his attorney that if he did not say it.
Right.
Yes.
But they know exactly what it means. But see, the problem is that they always running around here telling us to have our kids be accountable. We're pretty good at making our kids be accountable.
That
We
part.
are, we are
That
definitely pretty, and even if we're supporting someone that is in a criminal case, if we find out that they have lied about things, we are
exactly.
still going to hold them to the fire. Unlike them.
We're not like that. Y'all hear that,
Unlike them.
people? Because
Yes.
they forever in my comments saying you're racist. And one thing I will never do, because I have experienced racism my whole life, I will never explain to a person that's non-black that I'm not racist. If you think I am, all right, that's
More power to you.
you
Yeah.
whatever you like. Because if me supporting someone that looks like me is racist, then so are you. Because you guys, not only do you support it, you support wrongdoing.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
support wrongdoing. So generally us, we support you. Like even if you did something wrong, we'll support you, but we're gonna say, you know, you wasn't supposed to do that. Why did you do that? We're not supporting the action or what you did. We're supporting you just because we love you. With this particular case, the reason they don't seem to get this, the reason why we are so involved, because we ain't stupid. And we know that
Mm-hmm.
this kid was railroaded, and they keep saying, oh, he's a murderer. You're supporting. No, 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 no. What I don't like is that he did not get a fair trial and you all are railroading him. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say they did not accept the self-defense claim and he got time and he went to prison, but it was in line with what those other folks got. I would feel like he got a fair trial. Even
Mm-hmm.
even
Mm-hmm.
though he still could come back and appeal it. You gave him 35 years when there are a couple of cases within the last few years, and all they got is probation.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
one got 4 years and then the other got probation, but you give him 35 years. That
Mm-hmm.
wasn't fair.
That
But
tells you
I think
right there.
another reason we're supporting him so much is not only because we believe in his self defense, but he has just as much right to have self defense as they do.
Right.
And the fact that you don't think he does is going to make me fight even harder, because as far as you keep telling me the law applies to both of us
Right.
equally, but I'm not seeing that.
Right. Right.
There's no
And,
evidence of that. There is
and
no evidence of that. I'm sorry.
right.
Go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry. I didn't.
I was going to say that's exactly how I feel, because I don't know if I explained to you ladies, I had started a fund, and in one day we had raised almost $4,000. Do you know those people went and got it shut down? I had created my own website, so I did not have like a GoFundMe or any of
Yeah.
that. I created a nice website for Karmelo, and it said, this is for his appeal. And, it was a really nice website. I own the website. So this goes to how corrupt these people are. It was my website. They found somebody that they knew at GoDaddy. So now that I know that GoDaddy is MAGA and these are the type of things they do, I shut down every account. I said I would never mess with them again. They get in contact with one of their cronies that work at GoDaddy. So when you go to the website, it says service off. And people are like, we can't donate. So I'm thinking, okay, I bet they had something to do with this. But I said, I'm just going to call GoDaddy. So
Yeah.
GoDaddy, we don't know what's going on. So I'm thinking they finally put it back together. But in the back of my head, I said, I feel like they had something to do with it, because that same day earlier, I was going through another payment processor, which was Stripe. I've had Stripe for years. I've sold courses, I've sold different things using my Stripe account. Never had a problem. Now, when I log into my Stripe, or I'm sorry, I didn't log in, I'm getting these emails from Stripe. And I'm like, what is this? So at this point, my website is still working. And I see these emails from Stripe telling me to do this and do this and do that. So right away, I'm like, something weird is going on, because I've had this account forever. Remember, never had a problem. So at this point, I said, I'm just going to switch everything over to GoDaddy, because when I started my website, they were like, we got our payment thing or whatever. So at this point, I'm like, I'm not even going to deal with Stripe. I'm just going to go over to GoDaddy. Soon as I got ready to, call GoDaddy, they hooked it up. They said, okay, we switched it over. Do you know, as soon as I got off the phone, I was talking to that guy on the phone, and he says, well, do you know the family? I said, I've never met them before. I said, people are really interested in their story. And I said, I've met people that I never even thought that I would ever meet. I said, and we all have this common interest. We want justice for this family. Got off the phone with them. About 10 minutes later, the website says service unavailable. So now I'm calling GoDaddy. They put it back together. The website is working, but now the payment portal isn't working. That's the whole purpose of the website. So after calling them over and over, I realized they did this. This is what they did. So then obviously I'm getting these weird messages from them like, oh, hi. So these people are very, very weird and nasty individuals. Very nasty and very weird individuals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
It,
All
it's it
because I
it's
wanted to help them.
ridiculous.
Well, they are actively, every chance that they get, anything that we try to do for this family, they're
Right.
trying to shut it down.
Yep.
And that shows you their intent, their malice
Yes.
against this family.
This is a perfect example of systemic racism, because
Yep.
they're
Exactly.
using the
You're absolutely
system.
correct.
They're using the system to
Yep.
control that family and anyone else that wants to help them that is not of their color. This is a perfect example of it. This
And
is how it works.
but you know what it did for me? It, like you said, it got me even more involved. So I said, okay, we're gonna take this to the next level. I have already lined up my next contact and how we're gonna do it. Because I said, if you guys will work this hard, let me just show you how much harder I can work. And, I'm going to make sure now I'm just going to align with a black bank, make sure when I go to them, I let them know what's going on so that we can make sure that this never happens again, because they haven't stopped anything. Only thing they did was make it better. And to be honest, I didn't even know. So they helped me with knowing just how racist they really are, because I never really looked at it like that. And I'm actually glad that it happened now, because I said, imagine if we had to raise like $200,000. You know what they said, that with the money that's in there? Do you want to hear what they said? They said, oh, the money that you have in here, we have to hold it for 3 months, because with your credit card, you can dispute it. I think you have 3 months to dispute it. They says, because we have to keep it for 3 months because we don't know, they may dispute it. How can they dispute something when the website clearly states that you are donating? We're not selling you anything. This clearly says that this is a donation website.
Yes.
So I went.
Yeah. What you should have told them, well, am I going to get the interest off of what y'all make?
Well, you know what
this dollar amount?
Right, because they're collecting interest on it while it's sitting there.
No, I told everybody, because I actually went in a portal and I refunded it. You can go in there and say refund.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
cool.
wait to see. But if they don't receive it back, I told them to dispute it, because that's stupid. Why would it sit there in their account for 3 months? Because you're concerned that somebody may dispute it. That could happen with any transaction. Anybody can dispute any transaction. But
exactly.
Yeah. So these people are crazy. All they did was
that the Anthony's had put up a donation site. It wasn't up an hour before they got it shut down.
Yeah.
1 hour. We were still sending out the link.
That's right.
And all of a sudden it disappeared.
Yep. And I think they've done that a few times though, because I was looking on the father's Facebook page to see, and when I would look, he would say, we're being I don't remember the exact words, but he was basically saying that they were being targeted and that they were trying to figure it out. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to do the GoFundMe thing. I'm just going to create my own website. And when I saw that, it taught me a very valuable lesson, because I said, I didn't know that you all was this low down and dirty and evil. But I see you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Common Man 80, the 3.8 grade point average that Anthony has didn't just happen overnight. However, dumb is forever. It'll
okay.
The dumb is forever. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining. We've been on here for almost 2 hours and 40 minutes. So do you guys have anything else you want to say?
I'm just going to say, keep up the good work. Let's move forward and find out whatever way we can to help this family, because they need it, and support Karmelo, any way that we can. If we have to look into laws, if we have to, find a way to get a funding going so they can get the money. Right. I think any way possible, because they have been railroaded. Right. And then they have this evil force that is determined that they're not going to ever eat rice again. And I'm just not for it. I'm just not for it.
Right. That's what I said. I'm going to a bank and I'm going to let them know what's going on. I'm sure it's a bunch of different stuff that I can do. I will never let these folks stop me. I'm unstoppable. So go and try it with somebody else. So yeah, I am definitely going to, keep pushing. Like I said, I normally don't get this caught up in, I'm normally on here. We talk about different stuff, but I just felt like God was just waking me up, because I'm usually tired and I feel like get up, you got to do this, get up, and it's just like, I felt more energy when I'm like, okay, I did it. So I feel like this family, just think about feeling like you've done everything that you are supposed to do for your child, and then to have them to be arrested. Like, imagine what you must feel. So I was just like, I could just imagine how this mother is feeling. She said that, they moved their family here for a better life, and then this happens. This is too much, even for me, and it's not even my situation.
Well,
Right.
I know that Jeff Metcalf also stated in one of his soon to become famous videos that if the Anthony's had shown more remorse,
Yeah, he did.
that their son wouldn't have gotten that much time. And that Karmelo will be a hashtag in about 3 months, that we would forget about him.
Yeah, he's a sick individual.
You know what? Karmelo is made for greatness.
He is.
And he's going to live forever in our minds and hearts.
Yes, he's going to come out of this and he's going to do marvelous things. So, Jeff Metcalf, just wait.
Right.
He was already an asset to his community. He was already a individual of upstanding. Look, this young man, I wish both my boys had his qualities.
Okay.
Right.
2 jobs,
Right.
help at home,
Right.
went to church, A student. Come on.
Right.
Come on.
That's what we want, right? That's why I said I not help them. Like, what did he do that was so bad? He is everything that we teach our kids to: get good grades, get you a job. And also, somebody told me that, because I know they're running this narrative that they didn't know each other, I feel like they knew of each other. I mean, there's no way that you're in sports and you don't know of this other person. Somebody told me that those boys would mess with people when they would come to the school. And I heard that Karmelo was advocating for, I guess, some kind of like a special needs kids or something. There was something with him sticking up for students, and they came for him. They set up to come for him that day. They were going to pay him back for opening his mouth, for taking up for students in the past. And then did you hear about, there was something
saving a life?
Oh yeah, that one too, where he saved I don't remember, was it a girl or boy from drowning?
I think it was a little girl, wasn't it?
A little girl, I think it was.
Well, they didn't talk about it in court. You would have thought that would have been the opportunity. But they also said the day that it happened, I think that there was something going on with another student. I just can't remember it. So I can't remember it. But in the police call where they're talking to Karmelo, that they asked him, is he from that school? I just don't remember it.
Oh, I remember. Emerson.
That's it. Yep, that's it. Emerson. So I don't remember, what they said happened, but there was something with somebody else at the Emerson, and they assumed that it was Karmelo that was from Emerson. So I'm even wondering, did that play into these boys coming at Karmelo? Because I don't care what nobody say. Did you guys see the video of them actually walking in? Because look, I said, the way that they walked in here, they was on something.
Now, you see how clear that video is?
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, it's clear right here. But then as they walk, that is when, it kind of get foggy. So it kind of leads you to believe that they do this on purpose. They walk thing on something. That's kind of where it gets blurry. Another thing I did, I went and looked up that stadium on the internet. Every video is clear. Every video is clear.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, this one is
But see,
okay.
This is clear. Look how clear that is. This is clear, but then all of a sudden, as they walk that way, it is like you guys said, you can see you can see the rain on the ground. very much clear. But then all of a sudden, and look, it even has the date. That's how we know that other one is edited. No date. This says April 2nd, and then it goes here. And guess what? There's no date.
Well, if they paid that man to alter that,
Are you saying
they
the one?
need, yeah, yeah, they need to get their money back.
Yeah, they thought we were stupid.
I couldn't hear anything you guys were saying. Oh, now I can't hear her.
You can hear us. We were talking
I don't
about
know what's
the
wrong with
video.
my phone.
Common Man 80 says, I just need to see the complete video that the school district has, then the entire truth will reveal itself. After that, the grits will hit the pan, so to speak. Right. Yeah, and I feel like they're not showing it to us because they have something to hide.
Yeah. Well, we've been advocating for that video to be released, especially since we saw it. But yeah, we want it released too because it totally exonerates Karmelo.
Yeah, and that's why they're
There's
holding
no
it.
ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Right. Daniel King 5346. The video was edited. If you listen closely, he was crying, saying he put his hands on me. Then the video is cut because the chop body cam time is wrong. Right. I mean, I can tell I edit videos all the time. I'm taking stuff out and putting stuff in. So as you can tell when a video is edited, it just doesn't flow correctly. Especially in that particular situation, because you got him running and then he's not running. And then even in the tent, it's almost like he flew up in the air. Like, why is he going in the air like that? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. And then some people pointed out, let me see if I can show you guys. If you look at this particular thing, it's in the air. Like, where is the side for right here? So there's no pole that's keeping this sturdy on the one side. And I didn't even realize this until somebody, you know how the people online is. There's nothing that's holding it. So people were like, even this one right here that we're seeing is edited because there's no pole right here. Like, what is holding this thing down? And I was like, wow. I didn't even think of that. So
wow.
it's definitely edited.
Yeah,
but
edited.
You definitely can still see that they were really pounding, hard on him. So it's interesting that this edited one still shows that. So I'm like, well, dang, what does the real video show?
Yeah. Just depends on the angle, But I did not realize that. I got to see that part. I thank you for that one. That was a real good observation.
Yeah, that one. I think I got that one I got this one from TikTok, somewhere on TikTok.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Sierra. I really appreciate you. I don't know what happened to One Who's Intrigued. Where'd she go?
I don't know. I hope it's not storming where she is now.
Oh, yeah.
It could be at Storm's.
Oh, there she goes.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear anything.
Okay.
There you go.
That works. Go out and come back in. I don't know why that happens from time to time. Are you on your cell phone?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Well, with your cell phone, if somebody tries to call you, it will take you out.
Oh, I exited on my own because nobody's calling me. But I just, when you were playing the video, I couldn't hear the video and I couldn't hear you. The only one I could hear was Sierra.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, this one, I was just saying that someone had stated on TikTok. I got this one off of TikTok, but there's no poll like holding. They said that even this is what we know now, that is extremely edited, because they edit this so much that you can't even see this thing attached on one side. So it's just like, it's just there.
Oh, you mean the canopy?
Yes. Yes.
Because you know they moved that canopy down
Okay.
to cover Austin's body after he fell.
After, okay, at the end, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know on TikTok they was really breaking it down, and somebody even showed how Karmelo. They were like, Karmelo is now a ghost because they showed him and then he disappeared, and then they showed him, and they're like, this video is so badly edited, like he's literally, as he walked, disappeared. So yeah, video.
And I think they released it because they thought nobody would be able to identify the fighting under that tent, under that canopy.
You know, the crazy part is, no, it does not seem how much we advance as a culture. Why do these people think we dumb? We ain't dumb. Like, are you kidding? Like, I'm just like, dude, they're on the internet. Like, come on now. How would you think that we would not be able to see that? Now, at first, I didn't see it until they told me, you got to zoom in. And I was like, okay, because I was wondering, like, what are y'all seeing? So that's why I originally reached out to Dwayne, who was somebody that had came over here who had saw the video. And I was like, Dwayne, is this what you saw? And he was like, no, that is the video that they gave to, I'm sorry, that the prosecution used to show the jury. He said, and even in doing that, that is still pieced together. That is not the video. So I knew that, that was not the video.
To me, that is tampering with exculpatory evidence.
Right. Right. And so this is what Dwayne said, though, because I also looked that up. There is something called the fruit of poisonous tree doctrine. Is that right? No, not that one. Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. It's a Brady violation. Now it says a Brady violation occurs when the prosecution fails to disclose material evidence to the defense in a criminal case. Because first I said, well, wait a minute. Did the prosecution not give them that information? He said that they actually did receive it. So now I'm like, well, why would his attorney not show that video? So it led me to believe, like, okay, are these people working together?
It was probably prevented from being shown. There was a 3-hour break, right? I wonder what that 3 hours entail, what it really looked like. And why did, and these are my own questions. Why did the defense attorney just come back and abruptly end it? Why?
That was
I mean, yeah, that was, he didn't even have the opportunity to put on a case.
Right.
At that point, if he's going to come back in and abruptly just cut it all off, just end it all, what happened?
What happened? And also they said when that happened, the family was like, what is going on? So even then it appears that they thought that this man was going to continue, which would make sense because Karmelo's witnesses, people are saying, well, where was Karmelo's witness? They said his witnesses, they were never called.
No, they were called. He called 3 of them before lunch. He called 3 of them before lunch.
I'm going off of what is his name? Dominique Alexander did an interview, and he said that there were more witnesses that just were never.
There were more witnesses.
Yeah, there were more.
Experts, everybody that was lined up to, all of that just got cut short. And I'm just wondering why, what happened
Right.
What really transpired, you know, I just want to know. Shoot.
But
You
that's
know?
exactly what he said, though. He said, because people were wondering, like, where he said, listen, there were expert witnesses. He even named some of the expert witnesses. He said they were never called. So now it leads you to believe that this attorney, there's no way that this attorney was acting in a manner as the attorney for Carmelo Anthony. It seems like he was playing for the other team because
Well, let
in
me ask y'all this then. Do you think he was getting ready to call Hunter to the stand?
Well,
Why
there was a
didn't
lot of
Hunter
speculation that
why
they
didn't
were
Hunter
looking
take
for
the
him.
stand? Why didn't Hunter take the stand?
Look,
I'm gonna say because if Hunter had have been called to the stand, all the lies that he previously told in all of those interviews, they were up for to ask. Also,
Grab. Yeah.
all of his behavior, anything, you can ask anything. So I think, but here's the deal. Why wasn't he still forced? Because he could have still been subpoenaed. So I don't understand that either, because it doesn't matter if he wanted to testify. Carmelo was the only one that didn't have to take the stand. You can't force him because he's the defendant, right? You can't
Right.
force him to take the stand, but everybody else, even if they didn't want to come, they could be subpoenaed. Why didn't his attorney force him to come to take the stand?
Or
okay,
was that the fight?
so here's my thing. If he was the key eyewitness and his brother, died in his arms, and he was up there when all the I can't talk about that, he got aggressive. If you're the key witness, why didn't the prosecution call you?
Yeah, I got the same question.
If anything, you definitely should have been on the witness stand. You are
The
the key
first one on the
element.
witness stand. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that right there made me think, like, what is going on? Like, why wouldn't you take the witness stand to testify? And that was my first, like, okay, something ain't right here, because he never took the stand, but then they still were able to get a conviction. Yeah, I said, yeah.
And see, me as a juror, him not taking a stand would have been a big red flag for me. You've been all over television talking about what you witnessed, and you can't come to the stand and tell the jury what you witnessed.
Right.
That would have been a big red flag for me, because I already know he been lying.
Right.
But I think he would have got too tripped up in his lies.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been the main witness.
Yeah, he should have been the main witness. They also stated that in the trial, when they start to reference their size, they're way bigger than Carmelo in weight and height. They felt like he was coming to court, but then when it got to that he didn't show up anymore. He was gone, is what they said, because they said they didn't want the jury to look at his size opposed to Carmelo, because what they were doing was saying that they were similar in size. Obviously, Austin is not here anymore, but they were saying that, oh, he's just a little bit smaller, or Austin is bigger than him. And then people said that they noticed that he never showed up anymore.
Okay, he never showed up for court, period.
Period. Oh, he wasn't there at all.
No. And I think the reason they didn't let him come was because they would have seen how big he was compared to Carmelo. I think that's why they kept him out the courtroom.
Yeah, they said Carmelo looked like a 12-year-old up against.
It was strategically done because they
Yeah.
kept him out for a reason. So if you look at him, and the kids have already testified that Austin was larger than Hunter, that would have taken care of the multiple assailant act.
Right. But he still could have subpoenaed him.
Yes, he could have.
He could
But
have. He could have.
But and he may have.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
might have.
there's a lot going on with this judge. I
Right.
mean, come on, and the DA,
Right.
I must say, um, that begs a whole bunch of things into question.
Right.
Um, Now with Hunter, them trying to keep him out of the fray, trying to keep him on the ground, so to speak,
Right.
along with those others. Hunter is the only one that didn't get immunity because if they gave immunity, he would be the only one that immunity wouldn't have been given to because he did not testify, right?
Mm. So when you talk about immunity, I think they have to at least want or say they're going to charge. I don't believe they would ever charge them even if they knew that they had did something. So I don't
I
believe that they
agree.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think that they're I don't think the immunity conversation was even had because I just don't. I
Well, they
don't.
got up there and they did so much lying. Some had to be.
Right. And they allowed them. They allowed them to lie. And I was
To
just like,
perjure themselves,
You
yeah,
know what the problem with a liar is that they don't hear what actually comes out their mouth,
yeah,
and they actually think that their lies are so great and
yeah,
so perfect that nobody will pick up on what
right,
they're saying. And it
yeah,
takes a person that actually listens to catch those lies.
right,
And those witnesses thought that I don't think they got immunity either. I think that they thought that their lies was so tight,
right,
that they were going to get away with it, which they did, but they didn't get away with it because of the lies. They got
right.
away with it because the jury already had their mind set up when they selected the jury.
Right, because they lied. I mean, even on cross examination, I feel like Carmelo's attorney was really soft. But even in being soft, when you lie and they ask you these follow up questions, it can be determined that you lied. Even Eddie, oh, I don't know him. We're not friends. Okay, well, what are these photos? How do you explain that? He's a liar.
A
So,
proven liar at that.
Mm-hmm. And we're not ignorant to the fact that when they look at him, they don't see a good young man, a man that's an A student, a man that, a boy, not a man, because I'm gonna take that back. He's not a man, he's a boy. They don't see a boy that is a high school student that was protecting himself, that has good grades, that comes from they don't see that. All they see is thug.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's nothing he can do to make them think differently. That's what I try to tell people. When a person is racist, you can be straight A student, you can be a doctor or lawyer. They see you as the same. And
Exactly.
yeah, because I tell people, some of y'all be really hoping that these folks see you as something else. You'll hear people say, oh, that's why they see us like that. No, they will see you like that regardless to who you really are. So why do you care to change it? Like, why do you care? The Google,
I mean, that's the way they've been conditioned to see us. So, um, we're not going to change anything for them. They have to decide that there's something wrong with the way they're looking at us and change themselves.
They have to
But
change their own minds. Yes.
right, right. But I mean, I'm just going to be honest with it. That's what they see. That's what they saw when they found out he was the person that killed him, and they've been seeing that person all along. Anytime you think that because, let's say it is his poker, just because he got a poker, the first thing you think is, oh, he came there for trouble. That's a stereotype.
right? Especially when it's legal. Like he didn't break any laws now. And that was one thing his attorney did say. It's not illegal. Like, and some people said, oh, it's illegal to have it on school grounds. Now, Kirkendall was not a school. That's a stadium. Isn't that a stadium?
Yes,
So
Public,
yes.
public stadium,
it's
public stadium.
right. And they keep changing it. Oh, it was there. And I'm like, whenever it's a black person involved, the narrative is being changed. You have I think that boy was, what was he? That one guy that went to Wisconsin and pum all those people.
Rittenhouse.
Yes, but that was perfectly fine. Okay, that was okay. But
Listen, I have heard all the excuses, but he shouldn't have had the knife. Well, it was legal. So now what are you gonna do? Well, he didn't use the right force. Well, there was multiple assailants. Now what? But you know what? They can never answer me why the old white guy in Florida, which their laws mirror ours in Texas, why he got self-defense because another guy threw popcorn on him.
hmm,
And he was
Yeah,
afraid that he was going to throw his phone at him. And he was afraid because he's an elderly man. And he was afraid because he had arthritis. Karmelo has epilepsy.
right.
But y'all don't give him any credit for being having a medical reason why he didn't want to fight. But this
Right.
man got an ex-cop, and he got off with self-defense for shooting a guy twice in a movie theater where you're not supposed to have a gun.
Oh my
and
gosh.
and the other thing about Carmelo,
Mhm.
he was still recovering from a shoulder surgery.
Right. Right.
Right. And
AB.
then they have another case that was in Fresco not too long ago. The guy that was in a road rage.
Crisco, yeah,
The
yes,
guy followed him. When he followed him, the guy went up in a school parking lot, I think.
yes,
Um,
yes.
the guy got out his car and punched him in the face. You know what that man did? He
What?
shot him twice and killed him. He didn't even get a true bill.
What was the proportionality there?
They were white, I'm sure, right?
They were, all of them were, every last one of them. But then they want to tell me, well,
It
each
don't.
case is different. Not,
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, and if you really think about it, a one-on-one fight opposed to a jumping, and there is a law in Texas that says if you jump somebody, they can do whatever they need to do to you. That it says they
Yep.
can use, and they
if
keep saying, heard people say, no, you can't go, if somebody push you, you can't. First of all, he wasn't pushed. Let's just clarify that.
right, right.
Says that you can use whatever force you deem necessary to protect yourself. That's what it says. So it's not like it's what you deem to what you feel like you need to do to protect yourself, is pretty much what it says. But
Yes,
they wanted to say, oh, he pushed Carmelo, he should have just pushed him back. That is what they're trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like I said, they see him as guilty when they first saw his picture. That was all she wrote. They
Yep.
didn't think about anything else, but I'm believing this little boy is going to come home. I'm just hoping he don't have to stay in there for a long length of time.
Yeah, me too.
me too. I think we should. I don't want the appellate courts to, you know, um, go through the processes quickly, but at the same time, I want them to expedite this case.
Right, 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 right.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Mm-hmm.
lawyers were saying the governor has jurisdiction, but then being who the governor is, so people were saying Texas. I don't live in Texas, but they say that although it's a larger minority population, that people don't vote. Is that true? I don't know. I don't live in Texas.
Don't embarrass us right now.
No, they were saying though that if they can get some more people in there, because I don't know who's coming up for election because I don't live in Texas, but they said there's 3 seats. I think they said on the Supreme Court that's up. And they said that can definitely be a very strong, depending on who gets, how this works. So they
Yes.
were saying that, hopefully, that happens. But the being who the governor is now, I don't think it's going to happen, because the governor who you guys have now is the same attorney general who was wrapped up in the last corruption case. Unfortunately.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, when it's one of them palm colored folks,
Right.
corruption don't mean nothing. They can get away with it.
Right. So I don't know, the reason why, because I feel like this governor is intertwined with those people, and you know how it works. This is
He
how,
probably is.
yeah. I could be
I was
wrong, but I really believe Karmelo was set up by his so-called friend Eddie. Someone needs to get in contact with that guy Eddie and ask him some questions. I think we've all realized that Eddie played a big part in this. He played a huge part because he pretended, this Eddie kid, he never liked Karmelo, which is really creepy, because you were hanging around him in pictures, and the first opportunity you got, you turned your back on him.
Now, I don't think it was that he didn't like him. He was jealous.
Mm,
Carmelo had access and had things that he did not have, and did not have a foreseeable future of obtaining them.
right,
Well, guess what, Eddie? You darn sure ain't going to get it now.
right,
Who's going to want to be around you?
right. Yeah, he's done. And they gonna
I
tell him,
wouldn't want to be affiliated with him.
I wouldn't either.
they will remind him who he is. So I'm not sure what he thought he was getting. They
All
will,
of them, every last one of them. There's going to be a day when they regret what they have done on that witness stand,
right,
because you have taken away someone's life when
right,
you knew exactly what happened,
right,
and you chose to lie to put this
lie,
kid in prison.
right. And it's that part. You lied. You literally lied. Like, you made up a story that didn't even happen, which is, you gonna definitely. They say that guy Zimmerman, that guy that unalived Trayvon Martin. They said
Mhm.
his life is horrible now. They said he can't get a
Oh
job. They
yeah,
said,
it is.
you see,
He showed exactly who he was, didn't he?
exactly. All that momentum of you feeling like you were a superstar because you took a black person out of here. Now don't nobody give a dang about you. They didn't care then. It was just the momentum of what you did. So now
Yep.
that has died down, they don't care.
And he's been in trouble ever since.
I just
So
hope.
be sure that I hope your listeners understand that if you get summons for jury,
Oh,
please go and serve.
Yes, indeed.
Please go and serve.
yeah.
If you have
Yeah,
that opportunity, please take upon it. Do your
right.
due diligence, because that could be your child sitting in that courtroom.
Right. We have to show up for jury duty. We got to stop coming. Like, there is times where you really can't go. That's different. But just not showing up, because generally with jury duty, you'll be selected. You may get selected this year. Maybe you'll go, and maybe 2 years or 3 years you'll get selected again. It's very important that we show up and participate, because a lot of these decisions are made because we don't represent the jury. We're not there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
only a certain group of people that show up for jury duty. That is absolutely correct. Sometimes you
Yeah.
show up for jury duty and they let you go, but all you can do is show up. And also, what people fail to realize is, sometimes your job pay you the same amount that you make when you go to jury duty, and then they give you a few dollars. Because I remember the last time I went, I had told my job and they was like, well, don't worry about it, you still get paid. I don't think people know that some jobs still pay you whatever it is you make when you go to jury duty. And some of them may say, oh, we don't pay you, but you just bring them back the notice. They don't really give you very much money, but we have to show up. You have to.
It's called sacrifice sometimes.
Right.
It's
And your
called
job,
sacrifice
whatever,
sometimes.
yeah, whatever the court pays you, your job is supposed to make the rest of that up to meet your salary.
Yeah.
But here's the thing I want to tell them. You need, excuse me, if you are summoned to jury duty, the
I'm trying to
first
get
thing I
out of
want
it.
you to think about is that could be you. You don't even know what case you might get. It might be a civil case. It may be a criminal. You don't even know that until you get there. But you
Mm-hmm.
need to put yourself in those shoes and think, what type of person do you want judging you?
Right.
If you are a critical thinker, it is imperative that you go, because we don't get many of those people in the jury.
Nope.
So if think about it, that summons could be for someone in your family that needs someone that identifies with them on that jury. You need
Right.
to go. Do your part. It's not that difficult. I've served myself.
And
It,
stop trying to get out of it.
right,
Right.
That's
right.
the number one issue. Uh, uh, stop. Stop. Realize how this hurts us too. I mean, not in this case because the jurors did show up. I don't care if it was just a handful. They showed up.
Right.
You know, they were willing to take the opportunity to deliberate in their jury room, and
Right.
it wouldn't have took no 2 to 3 hours either.
Right.
You know, they would have went through that evidence.
Right. And you know, I was a little bit upset for the ones that showed up because you showed up and then you gonna say you can't send a black man to jail. Keep that to yourself.
Oh my
Just
lord!
like they do. Just like they do.
Right. Why would you say that? I'ma sit there, Your Honor, I can be fair. Don't say that because they knew that they were sending them to jail regardless to what the evidence was, but they didn't say it. So
If
if
he
you
had a shut his
Exactly.
mouth and just went in there and no, I don't care what y'all say. He ain't guilty. That would have been enough right there.
That would have been enough right
but
there.
to
That would
say
have been enough.
what is wrong with these people? Those few people that
The
basically
only thing I think of is that he didn't want to serve. He did not want to serve on the jury. And that's
right,
why he said that. Because
right,
he knew that that would exclude him right away. That's the
right.
only thing I can think of that he said
Yeah,
that. But
there's 100 other things he could have said that would have excluded him too, but
But
that ain't what he said.
But all they
mhm,
needed was one person because I was told in Texas, everybody have to agree. Like everybody has to say guilty or not guilty. If
right.
everybody don't say it, so those are the type of things. If he would have had one person to say no, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So
Hmm.
you don't go, how you show up and say, "Oh, I can't put a black man in jail." Like, okay, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself.
You know, the other
So
thing
he
I'm
he thought he
thinking,
was guilty then from the get to.
the only thing I'm thinking is that this, just like Eddie set up Carmelo, this was a setup from the beginning. Because not only that, you announced to all of Texas when his case was coming up. So when they got those summons for the jury summons, they probably all showed up because they was thinking that was his case anyway.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And Frisco is a very racially biased place anyway. I'm sure every last one of them that got one in Frisco was there.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so it was a setup from the beginning.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but once they got there, they knew what they was there for. Like you knew what
Hmm.
the case was for. How dare you say you can't send a black man to jail? You know that the people gonna tell you you got to go. Like
Hmm.
you knew when you said that statement that you wasn't going to stay. So that was his way of saying, come on now, you can't. Come on now. But that's
Yeah.
all he needed was one person, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. That's why it's so important. Like Sierra said, it's so important to show up for jury duty. It's very important because people that represent us don't show up. Even when I went, maybe was one other person, and that's in the, you know, when you go to jury duty, I know for Georgia, you're sitting out in like this open area and it's a whole bunch of people, so you can kind of see it wasn't that many black people in Georgia. It's a lot of black people, right? What
And I don't understand that. It's a whole bunch of us in Georgia, and you can't even get the majority on the jury.
Yeah.
Girl, something is crooked in Georgia.
Right. So you gotta show up. You gotta come. Making excuses. Sarkeel says free Mello.
Absolutely. Because when I served on the jury, it was only 2 black people on there, and both of us was women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because, well, even when they sent me mine, it did say, like, you know, like if, I don't know, I think they were like asking you if you can't serve. It was like some questions that they, like, I guess, like if you were taking care of, you know, a disabled person. So there was ways that you could get out of it. It definitely was ways that you can get out. I just ended up going. I was like, I'm just gonna go. But there, I just noticed that it wasn't too many black folks there. It was, because I ended up going, and I think whoever or whatever, they ended up telling us we could all leave. So I don't know what happened, but all of us, they were like, okay, you all can go. So I'm not sure what happened with that case.
Oh, they didn't select you?
They didn't select any of us. So for whatever that case, we were all, it's like different groups of people. All of the ones that was in my group, they said we all can leave. So what happened? Maybe the case was solved or something, but they told us all we can leave. There were still people there for other ones, but for the ones that was within my group, they were like, y'all can leave. We just said it was like for a couple hours. And I think they even, because they were like, how do you want to get paid? And I was like, okay, you can get my Zelle. And I think it was like $30 or something I ended up getting.
Okay.
I was in my first juror case was a murder case. And when I got chosen, now I had been getting out of jury duty. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I know. But this time they were determined to get me.
Okay.
So, but when they got me, and when it's the what it was presented was a murder case. I'm going to tell you what happened. One black, one Hispanic, and the rest were Caucasian or white. And of course, the defendant was black. But anyways, the first thing one of the individuals, white woman, states, well, we all know he's guilty. Let's just go ahead, sign it on over to him being guilty, and let's get out of here, because I don't want to be here. I need to be somewhere else when it comes to weekend. This is their mentality, y'all.
Is this what they said when you went to
This is what one of the other jurors stated in the court, in the jury room.
And I bet you that's what happened with Karmelo's case.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting ready to say.
To do that. I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I felt so compelled. This was my first time serving. My first case. And I'm taking on someone, it felt like someone's life literally being in my hands. This is a life that you have in your hand. I felt obligated, compelled to just, hey, I got to see this through. So I just told him, Well, if this was happening to a loved one of yours,
Right.
you would want someone
Right.
to at least sit down and look at all the evidence before
Mm-hmm.
making a decision. So you could just sit your little hot self down and
Right.
let's do our job, because this
Mm-hmm.
is a human's life
Right.
that we're talking about here.
Mm.
That just, and she rolled her eyes at me, and of course I had to roll mine back, and there you go.
And actually said, let's just find him guilty so we can leave.
Yes, yes,
Yes, they will do that. And they want you to believe that they're looking at the law, and they're not.
no,
They're not. In some cases, in very rare cases, I would say yes, they are. But it's extremely rare because they already have their mindset on what type of people we are.
Right, right, right. And also, too, these people didn't take no notes. And with the judge
None.
rushing them, telling them, you know, well, if you don't get it done today, you will be in a hotel. You won't have a phone. You won't be able to watch TV. That is, he shouldn't have. You don't need to tell them what the conditions are going to be until they getting ready to go. You don't need to say you won't be watching TV. You won't have a phone. You tell them then you can't take your phone. But telling them during the jury deliberation is like, look, we listen, I'm not gonna go in no hotel without my phone. Listen, we gotta hurry up and do something. So that's just not right.
yeah,
This is
that trial lasted 14 days that I was in, and we deliberated 4. So listen, if it was a case of, some commercial or something else other than murder and getting a lot of years and doing this, that, if the evidence is clear, it's just clear. But if when you have a shadow of a doubt,
right,
then you need to really examine what your answer is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, because I mean, you can't just be talking about I'm ready to go. Because listen, you can be in this very same seat. You know, you can't don't be a juror then. Just be like, I can't do it. And just, people like that should leave. Now they shouldn't be a juror. If you feel like you're not gonna sit down and look at the evidence, then you probably should just leave. You know what I mean? If you saying I gotta go, just make them guilty. Like, come on now. Yeah,
Well,
that's
it could always work the other way too. Now, listen, that's me being mean. Y'all stop. That's me being mean. 'Cause, don't call me
Girl, I would if I
confused.
felt like there was any reasonable doubt in my mind, we just would have been sitting there.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Um, and
What
we did when we did. So
What do you guys think about? I don't know if you've heard this, but there was that news station, one who intrigues. You had mentioned, or I don't know if you or Sierra has said that. I know I heard that Jeff Metcalf was taking people's seats, and y'all, one of you guys had said the TV. I know they're on YouTube. I don't remember the
the
name
Oh,
of it.
crime,
are you
the
talking about
true
him
crime.
shaking his head at the witness, trying to get them to say what he wants them to say? Yeah,
Yes,
two news reporters
right,
reported it on the news, saying that he was sitting there and asked the prosecution was asking questions. The witness was looking at Jeff, and he was shaking his head yes and no.
right in court,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, so nobody saw that. Like these people don't know each other. So
There
one
were
of
plenty of people that saw it, and I'm glad that the two reporters saw it. But as you can see, it had no bearing on what happened in that courtroom.
well, guess what I did? I literally took both of those videos, time stamped it, and I emailed it to his attorney.
Good job.
I emailed it to his attorney. The next day, the attorney had wrapped. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I was really wondering, yes, the attorney didn't reply. Well, obviously the attorney can't reply and tell me anything, but I sent him an email. I told him these are the two news stations that saying that they pretty much heard him. I gave him the timestamps. That man was not trying to help Karmelo. Yes, I emailed his attorney. Sure did.
I'm telling you, it's a system. I mean, it's the system is corrupt.
Yeah. And I find it very hard to believe that Karmelo's attorney didn't see it. The judge is in there. He didn't see it. I mean, there's cameras in the courtroom. And I did hear somebody say this, but then somebody said that it's illegal for them to turn those cameras off. But some people were saying that they don't think that they recorded that. But then others had said, no, that's illegal. He has to record it. So I was like, but I don't know. These are corrupt people, so I don't know.
Well, I can see why Karmelo's attorneys could not see him doing that because they're sitting across from him.
Okay, I'm glad you said that.
They're sitting across from the prosecutor, and Jeff is sitting behind them.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then
so they wouldn't be turning around like this. You know what I mean? They're focused this way. Gotcha. The reason the reporter and other people that are sitting back there like Jeff, that's why they were able to see him because they're sitting behind him. And they were probably sitting to the left to know that he was looking at the witness and shaking his head and stuff. Because they were, the Metcalfs was on the left side and then Karmelo's family was on the right.
Okay. Because somebody else said that, because I was like, the judge didn't see it. But this person explained that the way that the judge was sitting, it would have been hard for the judge to see it as well. So I was like, okay.
And that's the weirdest thing because the judge's desk or whatever you want to call it, I've never seen one that sits kind of in a corner rounded.
Okay.
They usually sit in the middle of the courtroom. You know what I mean? That's what I'm used to seeing. Okay. But this is kind of rounded on a corner like.
Okay.
And he faces the jury. I'm used to the judge sitting here and the jury's here. You know, he's sitting this way, facing the attorneys and the defendant, and then the jury is sitting to the side. I've never seen a courtroom like that before.
Okay, because when somebody said that, I'm like, huh? But they said where the judge was sitting, they said the judge would literally have to turn all the way around. And I'm like, I thought the judge is in the front and everybody is just in front. But they were like, no, the judge did not see it. And I'm like, that's kind of odd. But like I said, I emailed the attorney. So even if he didn't see it, he received that email. And I even gave him the timestamps for every single video.
Okay. Yeah, that is a weird courtroom that I've seen. I've never seen one like that before.
Okay, that makes sense because I was wondering, like, why is this lady taking up for this judge? Okay, because I was trying to be in my mind, like, well, the court, like every courtroom that I've ever been in, the judge is here, and you got your defense and you got your prosecution. So
right. So imagine the judge is here. Like I'm facing this way. Who I see is the witness and the jury. To see the defense and the prosecutor, I have to do this.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense because she did say, she says, well, the judge, she said to the judge's defense, the judge didn't see it. He would have had to turn around. And the first thing came to my mind, I'm like, look, well, he need to turn around because this is the judge's court. The judge is responsible. But yeah, I've never been in a courtroom like that. Generally, always right up front. But yeah, that would make sense there. But still, like I said, I sent his attorney an email, and somebody up just put in this chat said I emailed his attorney to ask him what the F he was doing.
Oh my
No
God.
pushback. It was a setup. And
Oh Lord.
what I said to the attorney after I done sent this attorney a few emails after he wrapped. I said, what kind of defense was that? No expert witnesses. And then of course at the end I cussed them out. I said, what type of what kind of what was this? Of course he never
Well, I think he's got his fill of emails and critiques because they had to shut off their Yelp.
Oh, real? They should, because I said, y'all, let's go over there and rate him for the service that he provided. We got to give
Yes, honey, they shut that thing down because he was getting so
him.
many Mm-hmm.
Well, good. The community
Mm-hmm.
did its job.
Mm-hmm.
Never came out and said, now what big cases do you know that the attorney never come out to give a statement and say nothing? Nothing. Nothing at all.
Yeah, he might not never come out and say anything.
I
Because
mean,
he know the black community is all on that ass right now. Like,
it's
what were you thinking when you went in that courtroom? Because shit, we didn't debated the case better
Well,
than he did, haven't we, Sierra?
we have. But if you didn't want to take this case,
you shouldn't have
why
took
the
it.
hell did you take it?
Exactly.
Right.
If
Exactly.
you wasn't going to represent this client, why did you take it?
To the
Right.
best of your abilities.
For the
Because I
money.
don't I don't see he put his best forward.
I don't
No.
even.
I heard a few people say, one of the disadvantages that they had, generally people are out trying to raise money. They actually was able to get like 600 and some thousand. And I think that was a disadvantage too, because now that attorney knows how much money you have. And
Yeah,
that,
but he should have set a price before he even knew how much they had in there. The price should have been set when they went to see him. And if he thought it was going to go over, he should have gave them an amount that he thought it might cost, and he should have gave them an amount as a retainer fee. You know, but that was a poor job he did. Really poor.
yeah, he did. They could have got a public defender that could have did better than that. That guy did. Like, I don't understand how he slept at night. I mean, why did you do that? That's why I feel like he was working with them, because I mean, how how did you
Terrible.
yeah, as a horrible attorney. Some, attorneys that I have listened to different podcasts, a lot of them said they never had heard of him. So it's interesting where the hell he even came from. But a lot of
He's
attorneys,
supposed to be one of the best in Dallas, isn't he?
yeah, that's what it says. But you know what? Sometimes people do pay for reviews, because a lot of those people said they had never heard of him. But I did see that on the website. It did say he was the best. But when people keep saying they ain't never heard of him, I started to think, did he pay? Did he pay for that review? Because people were like, well, I never heard of him. But it sure did say he was one of the best attorneys in Dallas.
Yeah, it might be possible that he did that because that was just terrible. Well, I'm gonna go.
I appreciate you, ladies. Sierra, one who intrigues, guys. I did put their handles in the comments. I'm going to drop it down again, you guys. So make sure you follow and support our guests. Thank you, ladies, for coming on. And maybe we can do this again. I really
Absolutely, I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for inviting me.
thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your nights.
You too. Bye, Sierra.
All right, guys, I'm just looking at your comments that you had. Those are some really nice ladies. All right, let's see. I dropped their I put their TikToks in the chat. You guys want to follow them over there on TikTok. Let me see, guys. Let's see here. What does that comment say? 𝐾𝐸 2127. He's 𝐬𝐮𝐫𝐸's attorney. He's on trial for murder. When you say he's 𝐬𝐮𝐫𝐸's attorney, are you talking about that Mike Howard attorney? Is that what you're referring to? Well, guys, it's been a long night. I'm about to get up out of here. Let me just put a few more things in the chat. Make sure you guys hype the video up on your way out. Make sure you go here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to share their TikToks. Just give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Okay, so this is One Who Intrigues. This is her TikTok. Again, I put her her handle in the chat. Both of them are in the chat. And then here is Sierra 207. Go ahead and follow Sierra over there on TikTok. And guys, thank you so much for joining. We've been on here for 3 hours and 41 minutes and 13 seconds. Thank you guys so much. Have a great evening and happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm listening. Go on. Yes, I'm typing it all down.
Kia, clear, spilling tea, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. I don't lies right here. Spilling tea, no fear. I'm still here. Da 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 da. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Make sure you subscribe to Lakeysha Keysha, my dear. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Stretch words like
Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. Make sure you subscribe to the Lakeysha Keysha